Am I a yogi because I'm sitting like this?
You're always very bendy.
I am very
You're
bendy.
Wendy Liebman.
Bendy.
By the way, if you're just joining us, this is like the pre-chatter before the intro. This is welcome to Culturally Canceled. I'm Russell Peters. Today's episode is a very I'm really excited about this episode. It's completely out of the norm for the show, which is good. And it's even better because I have on with me a comic who I've loved since the first time I saw her on stage. And it must have been somewhere in the 90s at Just for Laughs. And I've been a fan ever since. And even when I met you, I told you I've been a big fan for a long time. I'm not just saying that to say that. My friend Wendy Liebman is here today.
Oh my God.
The hilarious Wendy Liebman,
Oh my
might
God,
I
I'm
add.
so high from that cigar you're smoking.
Yeah, that's what we do. And also sitting in with us today is our producer, who's also here on her birthday, no less.
Yay.
Courtney's in the room. Happy birthday, Court.
Thank you so much.
AKA Herbert Avor.
Yes, Herbert Avor. Should we tell people why that is? I feel like you said that
it
last
was pretty
time.
funny, actually.
So Russell tried to look me up online.
I Googled Courtney
Yeah.
Blomquist.
To see what he could find, and you found me in a few places, but also that I had a wiki feet, which I did not know.
Oh,
Wiki Feet is for perverts like myself.
I bet you're on wiki feet.
really?
Wendy.
Well,
Wendy?
I have big fucking feet. I have clown feet.
Well, it doesn't. That's the thing. It doesn't matter because the pics that they had of me were not. There was like 3 pictures. One of them was not me. It was my friend. I wasn't in the picture at all. And then the other 2, you can hardly see my feet. In fact, I think one of them it's like cut off.
Yeah, they're basically obscured.
Yeah,
So it's
they're
like
obscured.
she's on Wiki Feet without her feet.
Right, which is why
She should
I
be
have
on
a,
Wiki Amputee.
They
I have
have wiki nose too, I think.
Do they really?
I think
I must be
so.
on that for sure.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
gotta be on Wiki
'cause
Nose.
Somebody said they knew somebody who was, I don't know if it's called Wiki Nose, but it's like reallybignoses.com.
Oh, big
Oh, I'm
noses.
probably on that.
yeah. I
Okay.
think
I know there's a website, Sarah Jessica Parker looks like a horse.com.
That doesn't surprise me. I've
It's
heard
hilarious.
that before.
Eddie, pull that up.
I'm on WikiFeet right now, pulling up Courtney here.
Oh, great. Yeah, I don't
Oh,
think
there's your
there
toes
it is.
there.
Yep. Okay, so you can see
I
a
don't
little bit.
see
It's
your
cut
foot.
out. Oh, there it
I
is.
see your toes.
There it is.
That's a good shot for a foot guy, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Are you really a foot guy?
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to touch my husband's feet.
Really?
Oh my God, I get mad because my ankles are always sore. And I ask Allie, can you squeeze my ankles? She's like, and I'm like, come on. She's like, does like half. And she's like, no, that's enough. And I'm like, all right, never mind.
My husband's sending me to massage school.
Ooh.
So
Oh, is it because you're a poor masseuse? Is that why he's doing it?
No, he just wants me to have a
Have a skill?
subject. Yeah, so I can't cook. I can't clean. Maybe I could massage. I love getting a massage from the bellhop. That's like an old joke of mine, but it still works.
By the way, for people who don't know, if you don't know who Wendy Liebman is, yeah, look, that's Sarah Jessica Parker looks
See,
like a
I
horse.
don't like that because I think I look like Sarah Jessica Parker a little bit. And I think
I
I,
do-
have
I
like
do-
that really long face.
You have gone very thin, though.
Too thin?
You're gaunty.
See, as a woman, we can't be too thin, can we?
Not
can't-
in Los Angeles, I feel like.
But as a Jew, I feel like you're a little Auschwitzy.
My weight fluctuates. That's terrible. My weight fluctuates, so I have 2 sets of clothes. Like I have a little black dress.
You have extra small and extra small.
No, I have a little black dress with spaghetti straps and a bigger black dress with lasagna straps. Some in-between pasta. That is so cruel.
It's so right,
God,
though.
there was a picture of
I'm
her
gonna move-
recently
I'm listening.
where she has gray hair. Like
naturally,
yeah,
or
if you Google her now, she looks. I'm a fan of hers, though. I think she was Annie. I was Annie in 3rd grade. I wasn't.
she was Annie
Yeah, I wasn't
Wait.
in the play. I was just orphaned.
in the Broadway version.
I think so.
I think
I
she
remember
was,
her from
yeah.
Square Pegs.
Yep.
Her and Jamie Gertz.
Oh my God. You know, Jamie's father used to run the Chicago Improv.
Really?
Yeah.
The
Walter.
Schaumburg Improv?
No, Chicago. Walter.
Yeah.
They
Most
still
women
owe
come
me
from money.
some from the Chicago Improv. There she is.
There she
I
is.
think it's just bad lighting. Oh, her roots are growing in. It kind of looks a little bit.
She's always a little Rudy, I think. I think that was kind of like her thing on Sex and the City was like, hey.
What does Rudy mean?
Like there's,
Roots, her roots.
there's some
Oh,
roots.
Rudy.
Rooty.
Yeah, Rooty.
I'm getting my hair cut off soon. I like, not cut off, but.
You gonna chop it down?
I'm going to cut it like there.
Like an
I
angled
think.
bob.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would look nice.
Like, because I don't want to seem like I'm trying to dress too young or.
That's the common thing that people say about you. That's what I. If you go into the online and go to the chat rooms, it's like, what's her problem? Doesn't Wendy Liebman know she's not 14?
I know. I still try to shop at juniors in the juniors.
21 and 21, forever 21.
21, yeah.
Forever 21.
It's just-
H&M.
I
Yeah.
think it's to the point now where like, yeah, Forever 21, it's exciting when you're in that age range. Like it was to me. Like, I don't know. I just was like, oh, cool. All these clothes I can afford. And they all are like made to be cute and impractical. But then it's, if you go in and buy a crop top now, then they all look at you like,
And do you work at a weed store? Everybody at the weed store has a crop top.
Is that
Yes.
right? I don't know. Are you a stoner?
I smoke pot, but it doesn't make me high anymore. So it's like I'm smoking cigarettes because I think I'm just high from being high all the time.
Have you tried a stronger strain?
Yeah.
Or you just don't want to trip out?
I just don't get high anymore. I don't know. Maybe
What's funny is I'm kind of like that with alcohol now.
really it doesn't affect you.
It doesn't. It takes a lot to affect me. And I'm like, damn.
Really?
Like I got to do shots, like at least 6 in a row, and then I'll be like, okay, I'm going to get drunk now. But I don't like doing that because I feel gross,
yeah.
and I'm not 14 anymore.
Yeah,
Not that
shots
14 is
are-
the age that you should be doing shots, but
Right.
I can't believe weed is legal now. Like I remember putting the towel under my hotel room door.
oh yeah, the good old days.
And
You did the road. You did like the real road, didn't you, back in the day?
I did do the road.
Me too. And I remember I learned how to cook on a. I learned how to cook food on a coffee percolator.
Oh my. I once brought a NutriBullet on the road with me
Did
because
you
I was
really?
like really into making my own smoothies.
She takes the magic bullet, but that's for different reasons.
Do you guys travel together? Do you work on
No,
the
but
road
I just made that
together?
up to be rude.
That is rude. My vibrator is much higher quality than
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you.
Never had a
And his
vibrator.
name is her husband.
And his name is Herbert.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You know how they, in Sharper Image, they're always trying to sell you like a massage thing?
Yes.
That looks like a vibrator.
Yes.
Is that a vibrator?
It is.
the
They call it the
Hitachi.
personal massage
Yes.
machine.
Yes.
Oh,
but
but
They
it
can't
is.
call it a vibrator. You gotta.
Right.
It's a personal massage. I mean,
Right.
Who knows where you're personally going to massage yourself?
Exactly.
It's so rude. I don't know.
You think it should be like marketed more clearly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that one's just old school. Like it was before people were advertising what a vibrator was, like, are okay with that. Like it was more shameful or something, you know?
Right.
Yeah, now they're more popular. There's like a real buzz on them. You know, Vernon Forrest, a friend of mine who passed away, he told me, "Hey, pimpin', I got one of them Hitachi ones, man. That's like the Cadillac of vibrators." And I was like, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Oh, yeah, the bitches love it, man. Bitches love it."
Does it have a Deadhead sticker on it?
It is grateful.
It's grateful. Yeah.
No, if it's a Cadillac, that's it. Never mind.
Oh.
I took my dogs shopping at Forever 3, which is kind of a math joke because, in dog years. You know what? I'm going to stop doing
No,
material.
I like it. I mean,
Okay.
this is what and I was trying to say it earlier, but this is what I love about Wendy Liebman. I credit you with being the comic that gave everybody the idea to go left with the punchline.
Really?
Yes. Whenever I hear somebody
Not
do
emo?
no.
Emo Phillips.
Emo was too difficult for me to listen to as a kid.
Okay.
I was like, I like emo as a person. I think he's a great guy, but I couldn't listen to his act when I was little because I was like, I went to a slow high school.
You did?
I really did, and so it reminded me of like, are you mocking these kids I'm going to school with? And
How many years was it?
2 years I was in there. I was in regular high school for 2, and then in the other high school for other 2 years.
Why?
They thought it was slow. It was the 80s.
I'm so confused right now. You seem to be so intelligent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
well,
fast.
they didn't recognize that because I would, I had ADD, I had ADHD. So if you had ADHD in the 80s, it wasn't diagnosed. You were just an idiot.
And they
basically.
medicated you.
No medication. That wasn't, again, the 80s, they didn't medicate.
Do you take medication for it now?
No.
No.
Are you still that way?
I think the H is gone.
Wait, let me figure that
That's the
out.
hyper part.
How can you not have attention deficit disorder in life?
Especially
There's
nowadays.
so much coming at us
Yeah.
all the time. Like
Nowadays, it's got to be even more and more common.
Yeah.
Like my daughter, I just introduced my daughter to Wendy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, her ADD kicked in within the intro.
she's adorable.
She's a sweetheart, but I saw her check out, and I'm like, baby, we're talking to you. Huh?
I think it's just it's not that, Russell. It's that kids don't like me.
Listen, it's not just kids.
I have such a way with turning kids off. I couldn't have kids according to my lease. But
According to your lease?
yeah, my landlords. I don't have kids, but I raised some stepkids. But I really have always thought that kids just didn't get me, or I don't know how to be around them. Do you have kids? No, you're too young.
No, I'm definitely not too young, but I don't have kids.
I never had kids, but I married a guy with 2 kids.
How old were they when you got them?
They were 4 and 8.
How'd you do?
I used to sing them show tunes in the morning, and I would.
So they're gay now.
Who knows? I would ask them, what do they want in their coffee? They were like 5 years old. I just tried to be light and make things funny. And they're both amazing. One of them works for Wayfair. They
really?
have just
Yeah,
what we need.
Yeah.
He's a data scientist, so he does all like the algorithms. And
How much for a kid on Wayfair again?
you have to put it together yourself.
Yeah. Oh, it's not IKEA. It's Wayfair.
No. So funny. And my other stepson is a musician, and he just had a baby. Well, his girlfriend had a baby, so I'm a fucking grandmother. And
What do they call you, though?
well, she doesn't speak. Oh, what are the kids called?
What are the kids going?
They call me that lady in the kitchen who thinks she knows how to cook.
Hey, Dad, is the coffee maker home?
They call me Wendy.
Do
Yeah.
Yeah.
they? They never.
Well, they have a mother. So
No, I get all
wanted
that.
them to call me mom, or we tried smom for stepmom, and that never stuck. That was like an hour. And
I'm going to try that. I'm going to give Smom to my daughter and my son.
I like Smom.
I like
Mom,
Smom.
I
Yeah.
like Smom too,
Smom is
but
funny.
it never caught. They would call me Wendy.
I'll give you credit for it if they do end up
Thank
calling
you.
calling them Smom.
Every once in a while, they would call me mom, like by accident, and
And then they'd say sorry.
My little
Mom,
heart
sorry,
would-
Wendy.
My heart would flutter,
Aw.
because it. Yeah, but now I'm a grandmother. We sing that song, head and shoulders, knees and toes, because that's what hurts, Grandma.
That's so
See,
funny.
Wendy's so funny.
So funny.
I love you.
Did
for
you
saying
know who Wendy
that.
was before I brought her on?
Yes. I just
Don't
saw you.
lie.
No, I'm not lying. Well, I saw you. I've seen your comedy before this, but I had actually just watched that hysterical documentary too.
Oh, what's that
you were
one?
in. It was like female comics, like just talking about the life. What was the
It
three
was-
line was just the life of female comics.
Yeah,
kinda?
it was Jessica Curzon.
I love Jessica.
I love her.
I had her open for me before.
Oh my God.
Cool.
She's so funny.
hysterical. She produced this documentary. It's with Judy Gold and Eliza Schlesinger and Nikki Glazer. And then they have me coming in. They show locally grown comedy. And I say how I want. Sometimes I have all women on the show and I don't mention it. Like that's where we have to go to. But I have my own theory about why female comedians aren't as popular.
Right?
Oh, you want me to share it?
Yeah, I do kind of want that. Or is it just a theoretical thing a thesis you're working on?
I was just getting a PhD. Because when we're on stage, it's like we made ourselves the leader.
Right.
And we convinced enough other people that we were the leader, right? So here I am the leader, and guys don't always want that.
Yeah.
So I understand it. So same in politics. So
See,
I get it.
I look at it differently as a comic. I look at it, see, for me, when it comes to comedy, it's never, but my entire life has never been like that where I see there's a girl, that's a guy. My house was never like that. My mom was such a strong person that it didn't even occur to me. And, you know, she was equal with my dad in the house. Mm-hmm. My dad was the brains. She was, you know, she was the nice person. So they kind of balanced each other out. So even when I got into comedy, I never looked at a girl as a female as a female comic. I was like, oh, comic. We're all comics. We're all literally doing the exact same job. So I cannot differentiate that.
Wow. Who was the one who beat you?
My mom. My dad a couple of times, but my mom was more likely to.
But is that bit serious? Because I just watched that clip.
About my dad hitting me? About somebody's going to get hurt? About
Yeah.
what? Oh, on Deported. Which one? I don't remember which joke was on there. But
Well, you were saying I want white people to hit their kids.
I do. But saying that, I don't hit my own kids, so I don't know how I can start putting that on white folks now when brown folks aren't beating their own kids.
But do they was that culturally
Yeah, I mean, it was the era, right?
accept in the 80s?
70s, 80s, yeah. I mean, were your
You're
parents?
younger than I am.
Yeah, only 10 years.
10 years is like, in
Like
Hollywood,
it's like a
that's like
decade.
dog years.
It's like a decade.
It's like a whole decade.
Were your parents immigrants?
My parents they emigrated from Brooklyn
Right.
and
To Manhasset?
to Long Island. Yes, Roslyn.
And did they cut through Ellis Island for that?
They took the Circle Line tour around the Statue of Liberty. I think I'm third generation.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, my family's from Russia and Latvia, I think. I should know. Poland.
Poland?
Yeah, I get that part of me.
Yeah.
And Russia and Germany. Liebman is German.
Yes, it is.
And my family owned a brewery.
In Germany?
And then in New York. Yeah, it was Rheingold beer, which is, they still make it today. But
Your family owned Rheingold beer?
yeah, but not since I was 3.
So it's been a minute, but
Yeah. So,
had you ever heard of Rheingold beer?
Lion Gold.
Rhine, R-E-I-N. Was that it?
RHEIN.
RHIME, isn't it?
Oh.
RHEIN Gold. And they had like Miss Rheingold every year. It was like it was like the Miss America pageant, but it was a way to get people to buy a 6-pack.
Yeah.
I like beer actually, but I don't drink, but I like beer. I
Would
like
you
beer.
drink warm beer?
No, it has to be ice cold.
Oh, there we go.
There it is. Rheingold.
Oh, I've seen that beer.
Yeah.
Extra dry. That bottle's empty. That's why.
So at that party we went to the other night, they were serving Heineken that didn't have any alcohol in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Non-alcoholic
Like
Heineken?
near beer, but Heineken.
Yeah, that's no good.
It's 65 calories.
Yeah, the alcohol has more calories than you think that it would. It really does, though. It's like 100 of them at least.
They should not print calories on a menu anymore.
Or a beer.
Or a beer.
They only do it on the non-alcoholic ones, I think.
Well, the Cheesecake
'Cause it's
Factory
like a
has all
soda.
their calorie counts on there. And that stops me from, I'm like,
I know.
Yeah.
1,500 calories. And then I'm like, well, that's if you eat all of it. And you
Right.
get every single piece of that.
Right.
I'm like, I took out the cheese. That's got to take 100 calories off. Yeah, I do it as like, I'm going to eat if I get like 1,400 calories, I'm going to eat a half of it or a quarter of it, so that way I know where I'm at with it. Like the other half when I get home, so I don't feel
I
so
know.
bad.
I eat the rest when I get home.
Yeah. No, it's I don't know. I don't count calories. I think I did in high school. I feel like that was like the time like that I did do that with count calories more obsessively. But it's weird. It's like, why, I don't like doing math otherwise, so why would I just do it in my free
I
time?
hope that's in your act. Write that down. That's so funny.
recorded.
I don't like doing math.
I don't. But then
It's
you're just doing it in your
true.
head all day. That's it. That's what it is. That's what counting calories is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you were raised in the 90s? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's a different time because they had all that. They were far more aware of it then. But also they were putting more chemicals in the food in the 90s.
It was
in
really
the
weird.
60s and 70s and 80s, I don't recall chemicals being a problem for us.
No.
No, I mean, that's the thing. Like, my mom was kind of she did a little bit of both. I mean, like, they had all that like Snackwells crap in the 90s where it was like, there's no fat, but then it would just be like a bunch of sugar and it tasted like cardboard. And you're like, I guess if I just keep eating them, maybe I'll be satisfied, But she was like a co-op kind of mom. Like, she went and, like the food co-ops that had like all the health food and stuff. And then she had a cookbook from the 70s. So I feel like we were eating 70s food.
Snackwell sucked.
Where did
Yeah,
you
they're
grow
terrible.
up?
Indiana? Like Northwest Indiana?
Which is India with a suffix.
The suffix.
Were your parents?
They were born and raised in India. But, they moved to Canada. How old was my mom when she moved to Canada? 23? Yeah, she was 23 when she moved to Canada.
I like
23,
Canada.
24 maybe?
I had never been to Canada before, just for laughs.
That's where I
In the
discovered you, and I was
90s.
like, damn, this person is
Really?
funny.
And
Yeah.
then years later, like a few years ago, you had me on your show.
I
That's
did.
why I'm saying you single-handedly resurrected my career.
I don't know about that, but I was just like, I want to work with her. I wanted to work with you. I wanted to work with Greg Rogel.
I love Greg.
Yeah, and Greg, I got to take Greg on tour with me. I took him around the world, and we're still good friends to this day. But I always like taking, like, there's so many funny comics that just for whatever reason don't get the shine or the break that they deserve. And there's too many comics that are horrible that get these big breaks. And you're like, what the fuck, why? And you're like,
What do
okay.
you think it is?
I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. There's no rhyme or reason to this game.
I think it has something to do with drive. Because I know some comedians who are just driven. And I never had that.
You
You
never
took a
had drive?
comedy course. You had to have been driven.
I was driven from a place of
Long Island to
not
Manhattan.
to be like, well, then I moved to Boston, actually. I took the class in Boston. I took the class at the Cambridge Center for Adult Education, and the teacher was a guy named Ron Lynch. You might know him. He runs a show here called The Tomorrow Show.
How do I know Ron Lynch? Hasn't he run your show before?
No, he's been on my show before.
I think I might have met him there.
He's hilarious. And he taught this class. And I just remember seeing it in the catalog and going, like, this is angel singing. And I was meant to do that. You know how,
what
like,
do they teach you in a comedy class? So that's what I'm
we
confused
just sat
with.
around and drank Rheingold.
That's what you.
No, we just
Today's class was sponsored by Wendy Liebman.
we just partied. But yeah, and everybody had to get their 5 minutes together. And can I say something totally honest?
Absolutely.
I've been doing comedy more than 30 years. I feel like I'm still finding my voice.
Right.
And like I'm taping Funny Women of a Certain Age
Mm-hmm.
at the end of August.
TV?
Yeah, for Showtime.
Oh, nice.
And I feel like I'm just starting at 60. Fuck it, I'm 60. That's my new mantra. Fuck it, I'm 60.
Fuck it, I'm 6. Now, you're only 9 years older than me. That's right. So never mind 10.
Yeah.
We've just dropped down to single digits, Wendy.
It's no decade.
It's not a decade. It's an aid less a deck.
You're so cute.
You started in 83, right?
84.
84. So I started
Yeah.
5 years after you.
And
I
Forbes
was.
magazine said,
Yeah, but
read his
here's the
Wikipedia
difference. There was a
page.
lot of Jews in the game.
No, I have
It
never
was
been good
saturated.
with money. So
No, me neither.
I'm paying for it now. No, that's so not true. That's not true according to Forbes, what I
Oh,
read.
I can gross it. I just can't keep it.
Well, Is there a parting gift? Is that?
I gave Wendy the most gangster mug I could find for her because she's a G. Do you see the mug?
Can you see the mug?
Let's turn it sideways.
Oh,
It's a
I
gun.
actually could not see that right
Oh.
at this angle. Now I can.
It's a gun. It's a gun handle on the.
But when you
Love
handed
that.
it to me, you said because you're anti-gun.
I
How do
am.
you know?
No, I said you're gun. I said because you're a gangster.
Oh,
Are you anti? I'm anti-gun. I'm not anti-gun, but I don't have one, and I don't. Or yes, I do. I have many. For anybody listening, I have many guns. I'm not a fan of guns.
I shot
don't.
a rifle when I was in camp when I was 10.
What
I was
camp
your
was this?
daughter's age. It was an all-girls camp in Maine called Fernwood. And I think my mother wrote a letter. She was like, what the? Because I would write home, I'm shooting a rifle.
Were you skeet shooting
What does that mean?
when they throw the clay
Oh,
pigeons
no.
up and
We
you?
were lying down on old mattresses and like I was like a marksman, between shooting rifles and macrame. I preferred the rifles,
As you should.
but no, I don't like guns.
Not a gun guy
I think
either.
I think it's a tragedy what's going on.
Well, America's a little nutty with it, and I'm sure we'll get people that, fuck you, Peters, if you don't like guns or America, why don't you get out? I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, I think there should be some limits on these guns. Is all
Maybe
I'm
you should
saying.
cut that out.
I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's some people who will say something about that, but that's okay. They say other things. They don't like my voice whenever I talk, so I'm
Really?
sure they'll say something. Yeah.
I like when you chime in.
The current review, for those of you watching, if you'd like to leave us a good review, that we get lots of good reviews, but they left. It's like a 4-star review. It's pretty like the stars are good, but then they just are like, I like it, but, and then it's just like nails on a chalkboard. Don't let her speak anymore.
You know
Yeah.
what it is? Because here's the difference is whenever Courtney is speaking on the show, it's like me and a bunch of rappers
Yeah.
or fighters. So you got all these
Yeah.
alpha male voices going on. Then you hear a woman's voice and it's like, ugh.
Yeah. I
But
know.
now you got you, me, and Wendy. It'll just
It's a
blend right in.
concert.
It's a concert.
So I know this is not my interview. Like I'm not interviewing you, but
You can do whatever you want on this.
So jazzed by how well you can dance.
Where did you see me dancing?
It was just like a little clip of you making fun of yourself dancing in high school
Oh, really?
or when you were 10. Do you know what I'm talking
Oh, my
about?
breakdancing when I was talking about breakdancing? Oh,
breakdancing.
yes, I used to breakdance.
What the?
B-boy.
That was.
I was a b-boy. It was
There's
true.
a video of you b-boying?
I probably just did some like popping or
Yeah,
some
he's
shit.
making
Just
fun
like,
of
oh.
himself.
Okay,
but
okay.
It was
You know, it was
so talented.
Allie is a phenomenal dancer.
Really?
My woman, like I've never been with a woman that had like that natural rhythm like that. And I've dated black women. I'm just saying, my girl, when I play music and she dances, I actually get a big smile on my face because I'm like, my girl's dope. She can dance.
Is that her profession?
No, that's what she did when she was trying to make ends meet. But but it's so much easier without the high heels on, you know? It's
I can never wear high heels again because I was hit by a car a couple of years ago.
yes,
Did you
yes,
read
I
about
recall that. I remember that time.
And I like having the excuse, like, because I don't like wearing high heels.
I don't, you know, it's funny is I always used to be with these women that would always dress up in high heels and makeup and all that. And now my girl never wears high heels and I don't let her wear makeup. I don't, not let her, but she doesn't need it. She may put a little something on, but you won't notice it. And she'll wear a dress with sneakers. And I'm like, I'm good with that.
Right?
I'm very good with that.
Like somebody said during the pandemic, she wrote, suddenly all the fancy purses I have seem so like
Yeah.
luxurious. Like you don't need a lot of stuff.
I got rid of so many things during the pandemic. I got rid of cars. I got rid of watches. I got rid of houses.
Really?
I got rid of women. I got rid of,
This all happened during lockdown.
oh yeah, it was a good cleanse.
A friend of ours said that he's getting a divorce, and he said he went to this divorce lawyer who was so busy after the pandemic because people realize.
He went to the office and had to take a number.
Yeah.
Like it was the deli
Basically.
counter. He had the deli counter thing set up
Basically.
there. Now serving.
I just got rid of so much stuff of my husband's. I got rid of his comic book collection, his baseball cards.
Did you really do this?
No, that's
I was
my
gonna-
pension.
I know. I was going to say, why are you giving away your money?
No, I know. No, but I did. I went through my clothes and I pretty much paired. I know. I wear the same thing every day.
I was like, oh, I wonder what she's going to wear today. I was like, weren't you just in this last week?
Well, this was black,
It's true. It's true.
and I thought very hard. I don't like what I'm wearing today, but it's my uniform.
I like it.
I like it.
Thank
It's for, you know what it is? It's Wendy Liebman.
It is.
It is.
It is.
It's the Liebman look. You got thick hair, huh?
I do, but I'm cutting it. I think. I don't
always
know.
funny enough, one of the things I remember about watching you on TV, other than your act, obviously, but I remember watching and going, she's got really thick hair. Like a solid head of hair on you,
yeah,
lady.
but it's deceptive.
Is it because you have a small head, maybe?
I have a Sarah Jessica Parker face.
No.
No, but I don't know if you're obsessed with your hair.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as Russell will tell you, I've dyed my hair many times, even just in knowing him.
It's been pink a few times.
It's been pink. It's been like more of like on the orange side of red. It's been on the natural side of that like strawberry thing. It's been blonde. It's been.
What is your natural hair color?
It's like a dirty blonde. I mean, you can see it actually because I'm growing out my undercut. So I have like a ponytail and a mullet right now. But you can see it.
The mullet's in honor of Indiana.
Yes. Yes.
My grandmother was so ahead of her time. She had blue hair.
Ooh.
Now it's in.
Yeah. On the original blue hair.
She used to, my grandmother, she used to put the phone in her purse. And this was before
Cell phones.
cell phones. It was a rotary phone. But I think I miss my grandparents. I
Did you
don't
know
have
them?
anymore? Yeah, I knew them all well. My parents are still alive, so it's
Really?
Yeah, they're in their 80s and
Oh,
they
that's it?
still do Pilates.
Wow.
And I'm like, I can't do. I did it once. I did one. I did Pilates. But I think that's why I'm so immature, because my parents are alive. It's like, it's like the Succession where you feel like an adult. I don't, because I'm still the baby.
Yeah.
Are you the baby?
I just have my mom left.
Are you the baby?
I'm the baby. Are
And-
you the baby?
I'm the baby, and it's you and your brother,
Me and my brother.
and it's me and my sister, who's 2 years older than I am.
And your parents are still and both alive.
And they live in Manhattan.
Really?
Yeah. They like
In Rheingold Towers?
they decided they didn't want to go to Florida or Arizona.
No.
They just wanted
They
to.
were like, too many Jews. I'm going to stay in New York.
Yeah. They like going out. They party.
Do they?
They go out like every day.
Did they ever go to Studio 54, your parents, Nick?
No, but I went to the dance. Do you remember Danceteria? And I swear I saw Madonna perform there. This is before she was anybody.
That would have been like 82, 83.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even before that, actually. Maybe.
81, 80, maybe?
Yeah. And did you ever go there?
No, I knew about Danceteria, but I never went.
Did you go to Studio 54?
I wish. I
Did
wish.
you live in Manhattan ever?
No, I stayed. I mean, when I would do New York in the 90s, I would stay in Woodbridge, New Jersey at Patrice O'Neill and Keith Robinson's place. And I would sleep on their couch.
Wow. I just saw Keith on a commercial.
I love Keith. He's so funny.
Talent.
He's so funny.
Talented.
I think he just turned 60 or almost.
I think I met him in Montreal, and we went like this with our hands, like to see how big his hands. His hands are like 4 times the size
Well,
of
that's
my
Patrice
hands.
then.
Oh, maybe it was.
Yeah, because Keith is little.
Oh,
And Patrice is dead, so his hands are.
but I met them together backstage.
Yeah, that would have been about right. Probably around 95, 96,
Yeah,
96.
and Kevin Hart.
Yeah, you could probably be bigger than his hands.
I don't think but I tested our feet. No, I'm kidding.
Apparently, Kevin Hart's got a huge penis, though.
Really?
I'm not just saying it. It's apparently Kevin Hart does have a very large penis.
Is that something
He's mentioned it on
he's
Stern.
mentioned it? Okay.
But I've heard somebody else mention it before. Some comic that was talking about an incident that happened one time. And like, "Yeah, Kevin Hart's got a huge dick on him." I'm like, what? I was like, I don't know how you know this. He goes, "Oh, I'll tell you how." And he told me, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I was like, when you noticed it like that, he goes, "Yeah." It was one of the things I was like, what the fuck?
No, it was a Hitachi.
It was a Hitachi.
In his
No, that couldn't have been. The Hitachis are white.
He's the special edition Hitachi, the collector's one. The black.
There was an AC outlet on it, though.
Okay. Alrighty then.
There's really no tone to this podcast. It's just
No.
We're shooting the shit.
we're shooting the shit.
Should we, I feel like we need to sing or something.
I was
Like,
well, you know, speaking of that, I feel like your I wanted to ask you about your musical. Are you still working on that?
Are you doing a music?
I started writing a musical. It's called Home on Tuesday. It's about 3 stand-up comedians in Las Vegas over Valentine's Day weekend right after Trump was elected. And so it's before the pandemic, and then one of the comedians is very political.
The pandemic being Trump or the
Basically.
COVID-19?
And there are different love stories and about comedy and money. And I wrote the music.
You wrote the music?
I wrote 4 of the melodies and I wrote all of the lyrics. And I'm halfway through. I just finished Act 1, which is like 90 pages, which I know is insanely long. But it's my passion thing because nobody knows I'm musical.
Yeah, she informed me that she could play the piano very well.
Well, I didn't say very well. I said I could play the piano.
Well, I can't play it all, so which means you could play it very well.
But what
Yeah.
made you get a piano? Just because
No, it was
it was a gift.
long story short was I bought it for an ex,
Oh.
and when she had moved out, she took it with her, and then she was moving back to her mother's. She was like, "Hey, do you want that piano back?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
It's gorgeous.
It is, but now it's sitting there, and I'm like, I think I want to sell it because it really is just taking up a lot of space.
Well, maybe your daughter wants to.
No.
No?
No,
Are
unless-
you musical? Well, you are
I
musical.
DJ, so
Right.
I play the
Saw that.
turntable.
That's still being musical.
It is still being musical, but I don't have to read music. I read wave files now at this point.
Yeah.
So you never like played the saxophone?
No, I did actually try saxophone
Oh, really?
in
I was
high
just
school.
picking a-
In grade school, I tried it.
Lucky
I'm
girl.
I really did.
Nice.
I
Like a
really
little
did try
psychic.
saxophone in 8th grade, and I realized, yeah, that's not for me. And
What
then
about your brother?
I never blew him, but my father made me take guitar lessons. I remember back in the late 70s, early 80s.
Playing the guitar is a good way to get girls.
It wasn't for me either.
You didn't
I think I learned how
busk?
to play Happy Birthday.
On the guitar?
Yeah, I was like, but it was really simple.
Oh, wow. So you picked out like individual melodies. I feel like I'm like I know the like 7 chords or something, probably less. And
It's-
then you write the songs from those chords.
It's her birthday.
It's her birthday.
It's my birthday.
She's 21 today, so she's gonna have alcohol now.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got her a cake. We're gonna cut it in the middle of the episode.
Oh my gosh. No, I love that though. I that sounds like I just want you to know I would watch that musical.
You would?
I would watch that musical. I would audition for that musical. I would want to be in it.
Wow.
My original major was musical theater, so that
Oh,
combines
so
all my
you're a
loves.
singer.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that part.
Yes.
So I watch all these musicals just to inform myself. And I realize there aren't that many that I love.
Yeah. What do you love?
Yeah.
None of them. You can't think of
No.
anything.
Well, when I was younger, I loved Pippin, but then I saw it recently and I'm
Scotty?
like, I love him though. But what I realized that I loved about it at the time was it was the first time somebody was on stage and broke the fourth wall and talked to the audience. And so I realized that's what I loved about
Right.
it. And I heard Dear Evan Hansen is great.
I haven't seen that yet. I feel like in a way it's like because I wasn't actively pursuing it anymore. I do feel like I'm not as up on the current shows. I mean, I saw Hamilton. Like
I saw Hamilton on Disney Plus.
Yeah, so did I. I know. I said I saw it. I made it
My
sound like
daughter
I saw
watched it a few times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I bought
I've never seen
tickets.
it.
It's
You
going to
haven't?
be at the Pantages, actually. So
Oh,
I
okay.
got some tickets for that.
I've never been a musical guy.
no, I can see that.
Yeah.
Like I liked Grease.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah. I liked Grease.
I like Grace.
I didn't like Annie.
Yeah, I didn't. Again, all of that stuff when I was a kid, I was like, no.
What I did love was A Chorus Line, which was
Bob Fosse.
Yeah, I think
was
it
Bob
was or
Fosse,
Jerome
wasn't it?
Robin. No, Bob Fosse. It was totally Bob Fosse.
Yeah.
And I saw the original cast. Like that's how old I am.
Yeah, but you also lived in New York, so
That's true.
you had an advantage.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
what do you like?
I mean, I feel like when I was obsessed with it, I loved Rent. I still know all the words to Rent, which makes me so, I mean, typical and lame of the time period, everything.
Yeah, but you know, so I never saw Rent, but Team America made fun of it.
Yeah.
And that's so I feel like if I ever saw Rent, I would be thinking, why Team America the whole time?
Yeah.
Because is that basically what it's about?
Yeah, like the We All Have AIDS
Yeah,
thing. Yeah. It
Yeah, that
is.
sounds like a real uplifting story.
Well, it's based on La Boheme, the opera, which
It
is like
is?
where, yes. So it's like everyone in La Boheme, you know, they're all getting tuberculosis. They're all like the sort of,
So they need to do
Or-
an update on Rent and make everybody get COVID.
yes.
And it's
Yeah, that would be the modern
and
Rent.
what's the thing that the moratorium? They'll call it moratorium on rent.
Yeah, it would be such a. The musical is just like all people in their own rooms, like not leaving and not moving across the stage at all, just staying in one place in a chair the whole time.
Singing
Welcome
through
to
the
Rent
windows.
moratorium.
Rent moratorium.
I never saw the stage play of that, but I saw the movie of it.
Yeah, the movie was not good.
Okay, because I like the
You
music.
liked the movie?
No,
Oh.
I like the music. You know,
Yeah, the music is
600
great.
Men.
Yeah, it's great.
You know, I think the reason I never got into it was because of because Indian movies are so much like that. Everything is a song and a dance, and I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah, it's like because it was it's like Hamilton where like everything is. I mean, it's not like Hamilton, but as far as like everything being a song, like there's no just plain dialogue. Nobody just has a scene where they're talking. Everything is sung.
Yeah,
And
see,
to
I
me,
can't
was
do
like,
that. It annoys me.
My God, I want to try to do it with stand up. That's my
Just-
just try
your
to
act.
sing the whole act and never stop.
Good evening. Look at you, motherfucker.
In the third row.
I feel like, yep. And the fourth row is leaving. Everyone is leaving.
I did once try to get on stage and do an overture of all my jokes.
Did you really?
I did. I had it written down. I was like, and then my father, and then school, but I didn't tell the punchlines. So I just did that as a joke. But I thought it was a funny idea because, you know, at the beginning of West Side Story, they play a little bit of music of each
Yeah.
song, the overture.
I saw
Right.
that Elton John movie, The Rocket Man,
Oh, that was so good.
and I couldn't stand it.
I
You
loved
couldn't stand it. I loved
Couldn't
it
stand.
too.
I love Elton John.
What
but
did
Do
you?
you know Elton John?
I've never met him, but his husband's Canadian.
Who's the most famous person you know? Other than
Most
you?
famous person I know, well, Nile Rodgers is a very good friend of mine, very close friend of mine, who you know as
He's
well.
gonna do your wedding.
Yeah, he's going to be he's the band at our wedding,
That's so awesome.
and
Yeah, I just met
I
him for
have
the first
world
time.
leader friends that are pretty famous.
Really?
I'm friends with King Abdullah of Jordan.
Wow.
And
He's a great guy.
That makes you. I feel like that makes you more powerful. Like just even
Not
knowing.
at all.
No.
What am I going to call him? Go, hey, this guy cut me off in traffic.
I
Can
mean, you can call him though.
I
Like,
can
feel
call
like,
him, but I'm
you
not going to
know?
call him with my problems. He's got world leader problems.
yeah, but he would probably welcome something mundane like
Yeah, I bet.
traffic
I bet.
or
Oh no, we have
electricity.
regular conversations, him and I. Like literally, it's like two guys talking. That's the first time I met him, I think.
Holy shit!
Look at how dark my hair was. Look at how small my bald spot was.
Holy moly!
And that was the first time we met. And that was about 12 or 13 years ago.
Wow.
Did you ever try that thing with the light where you put it on your head.
Somebody gave me that once. It's a hat that has a red light in
They
it.
gave it to you. It's like $1,000.
No, they were wearing it. And they go, try this, and I put it
Oh.
on. It
Yeah.
didn't. I think you have to put it on. I don't think it
Explain,
works.
what is this?
So it's just like lights,
Some
right?
sort of red light that
Okay.
stimulates hair
It's
growth. I'm like,
Oh, okay.
I don't
grow.
believe it. To
Like
be
a
honest.
laser of
Right.
sorts. Lasers are there's for everything now. I
I
feel
know.
like
I have it for skin.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Yeah.
like a little laser, everything's like light,
like a
and
plastic
heat.
mask with red lights in it,
Something
right?
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, did we just discover this? Like,
Yeah, it's
everything
some UV rays and all
Yeah.
this stuff.
Yeah, one year it was just all copper bedding. Or,
Yeah. All of a sudden, everything. Yeah.
It's a fad.
Yeah.
But anyway, a friend of ours used that, and it was a woman. She said her hair grew back.
Yeah, I don't know about this.
No,
No.
I know. I just used the spray paint.
Oh, the like touch up spray. Yeah.
I use
Yeah.
Topics.
Yeah,
Yeah, the powder, the fibers.
yeah.
It fills it in really well.
Why not?
Because all I needed to do was just cover up the light skin parts.
Yeah, I mean, my friend was saying that like for any kind of show where you're always like, oh, their hair is so great. Any show, like sitcoms, especially where they just let everybody look really perfect, they don't need any realism. It's like they use that for everything to make it look like even people who are like young, whatever, just to have no gaps.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I just watched Cheers, all 11 seasons, and Ted Danson in the last season takes off his toupee to show another character because she confided in him about
Wait,
something.
he has a toupee, or was that just an episode?
No, I think he
really
really
did?
does have a toupee.
Really?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Eddie,
Can you-
check that. Ted Danson has a toupee. I always thought he had great hair.
I know. I think unless they like put a bald cap on him and
I think that's probably what they did.
oh, okay.
What's our Ted Danson?
Ted Danson, does he have a bald?
No, he's got great hair.
He's
They
phenomenal.
probably put a bald cap on him.
He's so great.
Yeah.
He has a new show. The
He's still a
Mayor.
handsome guy.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that looks real to me.
No,
but
he's
I don't
got
know.
great hair.
Yeah.
Oh, hilarious.
We're just lying about Ted Danson on
just
this
Cheers.
telling lies.
Just Cheers. Oh, here he goes. There,
Oh,
he's
you
going to
passed
take
it,
it off.
Eddie.
There, he took it off.
He still had hair when he took it off, though.
But he
I
had a
don't know.
bald spot.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But I watched that. I watched The Golden Girls. I love sitcoms.
I'm rewatching all of the episodes of The Nanny right now.
I love The Nanny.
I love it
I've
so
always
much.
found Fran Drescher very attractive.
She's so hot. I mean, it's not even up for debate. I feel
Yeah.
like she's.
Remember when she was in Saturday Night Fever?
Oh God, that's
I
right.
don't
She used to do
remember that.
dramas and stuff. That's right.
But she did the one with the fake band, Spinal Tap.
Was she in Spinal Tap?
Yeah, she was a
Oh.
publicist.
Didn't she have like a British accent or something? Didn't they
Long
give her
Island Jewish.
Oh, okay. No, I mean like in Spinal Tap. Like I feel like she played
Put on a
around with
British
other
accent?
Maybe.
dialects. Maybe I'm wrong, but I remember that. Seeing something
I got to meet her because now her ex-husband but her ex-husband's Indian.
Okay.
And I was out one night at a function and he was like, "Hey, this is Peter. It's nice to meet you. I'm blah, blah, blah. It's my wife, Fran." I go, "Who's Fran Drescher?"
Wait, they're divorced. Didn't they just get
I
married?
think they just got divorced, if I'm not mistaken, or separated or something.
Because she was married to a gay man or a man who came out.
From the gay man, she went to the Indian man.
Right, I remember
Okay.
that. He was like a doctor
Oh, she was married to a gay man. Okay.
Yeah,
for a
and
long
her,
time.
The Indian guy is the guy that I don't know if it's debatable whether, but his claim to fame is that he was the guy that invented email.
Oh.
What?
And he said he sent the first email in the 70s.
Huh.
To her?
And that to her.
That sounds like the like I invented Post-its from Romeo and Michelle's high school
Yeah.
reunion.
And it's on there. It's on the internet that he did start it, and then there's he didn't start it. And then
Wow.
and he said that the U.S. government stole it from him. And
Really? Oh, I knew of a guy. He was in my class in high school, and when he was in college, somebody said, "Do you want to go in on this online bookstore?" It was fucking Amazon, and he said no. He said
knew
no.
Bezos?
No, this was like a friend of mine from high school,
Mm-hmm.
and Bezos asked him if he wanted to go in on
Oh,
his
wow.
online bookstore, and he was like, "No, thanks."
Well, he would have been rich, but everybody would have hated him. So
Yeah, but I don't hate Amazon. I shop
You can't
there.
hate Amazon.
you can't.
I
It's more
shop-
like Jeff Bezos. That's what I'm saying.
It's the
guy, yeah.
whole, yeah. Like
It's the fact that he's a billionaire and paid zero in taxes is what it is.
Right.
I think
so
that's the problem.
unfair.
And going to space, like it does feel like I'm the billionaire that'll go live in the sky. Like it does feel a little bit
Well,
like
yeah,
that.
well, he's in competition with Richard Branson.
Branson. Yes.
But Branson beat him out there.
Yeah.
And Elon Musk, too.
And Elon
Yeah.
went out there too?
He's still going. He hasn't gone yet.
Well, Elon's got that car circling the Earth somewhere, doesn't he?
Yes.
He really did launch a car into space.
Oh my God, I didn't even know that.
Was
That's
it a
like-
Tesla?
Yeah, of course. It was actually a Chevy Chevette.
He's like,
and
the world
82.
doesn't need this anymore. I've replaced it.
I yeah. I forgot what I was going to say. I have something called Amazonnesia, and that
forgot
is
that you
when I
bought things?
forget.
Yeah.
I forget what I ordered.
Right.
Basically, I'm like,
Did that happen more so over the pandemic?
exactly. I'm like, Jeff, my husband will say, "You got a package." I'm like, I wonder what that is. Like, I
Anymore.
once had some lip gloss delivered, and it came in this
Yes,
huge,
like a giant box, and then it's like shaking around in there. And that's happened to me too.
and I felt like such an idiot. They
Yeah.
should have. This is what I think. They should have the driver wait outside
For the empty box?
for the box
Mm-hmm.
and also for returns. Like you go, you
No,
know what?
this isn't
These
it."
don't fit.
Yeah.
I bought these shoes over the internet. They're a little big, but they fit.
Croquettes.
Miraculously, they fit.
yeah.
You
That's
probably have
an-
skinny feet. That's
I
why.
have very skinny feet.
Yeah.
But now they're flat. I have clown feet.
You're what, a 7.5, 8?
8.
Yeah, you do have large feet for a small woman.
I know. My dentist said based on my feet and my teeth, I should be like 5'6". I'm like 5'2". I'm like, what happened?
You got lucky in the extreme. Imagine if you were a guy, you'd have a Kevin Hart on you. I just like to bring things to a screeching halt for no reason.
I'm just trying to process this whole
What the-
experience.
This whole experience.
Yeah, I love sitting here with you guys.
This is fun for me.
I feel very comfortable.
Good.
I always fanboy with her whenever I see her, though.
Why?
Because I've literally been a fan for 25 years.
Well, I love that, and I'm
Yeah.
such a fan of yours. And
Like
I'm
every
gonna-
time she'd call me, "Can you do my show?" I'm like, "Yes." And then something would happen. Like, damn it, I can't. And I always felt bad that I canceled. And then the pandemic happened, and she never rebooked me.
No, I haven't done the show again,
Well,
but
that's
I'm going to
fair.
rebook you because I have a little money now
Yes.
because we're going to do it on a weekend.
Yeah, I'll
it's
do it as soon as I got an open weekend. I'm in there.
Locally grown comedy.
Yeah.
Just let me know.
They're always great shows. She always gets a good audience.
Yeah.
The room is nice.
Yep. The food is
The
pretty
food's great. The
good.
pizza's fantastic.
Yeah.
Great
It's
place to take your
Italian.
date before you kill them. That's awesome.
That's where Robert Blake shot his wife.
She didn't shoot her there. He went to dinner there and then shot her.
Oh,
after.
right, because it happened in the street or something in the
Well,
car.
it happened on the street, like right around the corner from where we live, which is why I started going to Vitello's to do my show. So one day I'm just walking and there are all these flowers and I go, "Oh, did a dog die?" And these two women look at me like, "A dog?" It was
Wow.
Bonnie Jean, whatever her name
Right.
was. So apparently he had her sit in the car, then he went back to the restaurant to get his gun that he left.
Oh, coat check?
Yeah. So they were going to sell the restaurant, and then the real estate agent was like, "No, I can't sell this. I'm going to buy it myself." So that's
There's a lot of people into true crime. I feel like there's people who probably go there just because of that, honestly.
absolutely they
Yeah.
do.
Which is morbid, but true. I mean, I think people are openly admitting their morbid curiosities now.
This-
Hey, my buddy Clay Roberts just walked in.
Who's your friend?
That's my buddy Clay Roberts. Him and I bonded over cigars. He owns a cigar company called La Polina. And his father created Charlie's Angels,
Oh.
Mission Impossible, Ironside, Mannix. What else? Am I missing anything else?
I
Oh, yeah,
am-
and him. And his brother Bennett. I just realized that there was a loud noise the entire episode. I had the filter pump on the jacuzzi.
Should we start over?
No, do you hear how much quieter it is now?
Yeah, I know. I was
Yes.
adjusting all the like our headphones and
Oh,
stuff the whole
thank-
time to try to kill
Yeah,
it. But
that's what makes
yeah.
Courtney so great. She's on top of it. I thought you would have brought your husband today, it being your birthday and all.
Was it-
nope, he's home. He's not. I haven't. He took me to Disneyland this weekend though. That's what we did.
Nice. How much did he get for you?
What's your favorite ride?
I guess
Hitachi.
you know what, like Hitachi. I bet there's like some Hitachi motors. I bet they make motors too. I can imagine that.
I used to have a Hitachi boombox back in the day.
Oh, that's right. You were talking about that, and that was the first thing I thought of.
I had a Hitachi hibachi. No, I don't know.
Grill. But no, I like all the. I think I don't really like a lot of amusement parks. Really, like I'll go, but I'm not a huge fan because I have motion sickness. So I like that Disneyland has more lame rides,
Right,
and then
like
has
the teacups.
Yeah, well, the teacups actually would make me sick,
Oh,
probably
okay.
because they spent. So I didn't do that. But then they had this room that I really loved. That was called. It was just called the Tiki Room. And have you been in there?
Yeah, because my father-in-law and his brother wrote the Tiki Room song.
No, they didn't. Shut up! I loved it.
Tiki, tiki,
Yes.
tiki.
Yeah, that's pretty dope, right?
That's so cool. That's so
So,
funny.
he
That was
wrote-
my favorite thing.
Her father-in-law wrote "It's a Small World,"
A lot of the music
right. I
for
did read that. I
Disney.
did read that.
Yeah.
and what else did he write?
They wrote the music for Mary Poppins and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which is not Disney, it's Warner Brothers. And Bedknobs and Broomsticks, Jungle Book. They wrote the music for all of them.
Wait, he
Wow.
wrote like Bare Necessities and all
That's
that.
the only one they didn't write.
What a loser!
I know.
In a whole movie, that's the only one
Yeah,
they didn't write.
Bare
Wow.
Necessities. But they worked for Disney for many years.
Wow.
And so my husband came home from school one day when he was like 7, and his dad said, "What'd you do today?" And he said, "They gave us the Salk vaccine for polio." And his father said, "They let you let them give you a shot?" And he said, "No, they put it on a spoon, some sugar, and we ate the sugar." And he wrote, "Spoonful of sugar helps the medicine
Oh,
go
wow.
down."
And that's also how
Wow.
freebasing started. It was on a spoon with some
Right.
sugar.
And a flame.
And a
That's
flame.
the secret ingredient.
And yeah, so the Tiki Room.
That's so cool. I
love that ride or
Whatever it is,
exhibition.
experience. The whole time I was at Disney, I was thinking like for some of the rides that would be considered more lame, like Peter Pan, where you like fly over the city and everything. It seems like an art installation. Like you're
Oh,
just kind of
right.
flying around and you're there to experience what that world is. But that's kind of it. You're there to just be immersed in like something different for a little bit, and then you're out, and that's it.
Right.
You know, but I felt like that with the Tiki Room, and then that chandelier of birds that came down. I was like, oh my God, if I ever become rich and famous, I'm going to have this replicated and
You
hung
don't
in my
need to
home.
be famous
To
to
make
have
the-
that.
Yeah,
I mean, I
just
would want
rich.
it.
Yeah.
Just
Right. There you go. I mean, I would, just like if it was just made of like gold and feathers, I just feel like it would be ridiculous and amazing.
I just like that ride because I could sit down. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Which
so
one, the,
tired of
Small
walking.
World?
No, Tiki,
no,
the
Tiki
Tiki
Room.
Room.
which one's the Tiki Room?
It's like you go in and you just sit down. They have like seats, benches all around, and then there's these like little parrots hung everywhere, and they just look like and parakeets, all kinds of birds, and they just look like little decorations. But then they start singing, and there's like spotlights
Yeah,
on each of
they're
them.
animatronic.
Yeah, and then the flowers start singing, and the best part about it is that as they're singing, you can hear the plastic clicking. So it's like the flower will be singing, and it's like in
So-
between the melody.
Funny how like lit up you are about that.
I loved it. No, I love old like kitschy things like Russell knows. I love like weird themed hotel rooms, and like there's a place in Los Alamos, California that has like
the Madonna Inn.
no that I love too, but that
What's the Madonna in?
you don't know the Madonna Inn? It's like
Madonna
it's
the singer?
no, it was the Madonna, and I think his last name was Madonna. They had a coffee table book there that I flipped through, but it's like the guy who started it, he was in like he had some connection to like lime, or what is like a stone? I think the stone. Limestone, yeah. And so he got.
He's ancient.
He was like in the business of it, and so he built this hotel where the bottom, all the lower level rooms are rock rooms. So they're all made because he had access.
Really cool.
They're really cool. It's like
You've
being.
been, Paulie?
Oh yeah.
You stayed in a rock room.
To this day, we always stop them when you drive north, like on the PCH, you go
Yeah.
where you have to stop at the Medallion.
Yeah.
No, I just drove back from Northern California, but I took the 5.
Yeah, it's like I think
I've never been there. I've seen pictures.
It's amazing.
What's the best hotel you've ever stayed in? On your,
I've had some pretty incredible hotel rooms in my life. I've been fortunate enough. One of them was the ITC Grand Chola in Chennai, India, aka Madras. And they gave me the presidential suite. And it had it was massive, and it had its own private pool, its own private gym. It was amazing, and you got a butler and
You got a butler for the hotel
and
room?
a lot of and all these like in Asia especially, you get a nice hotel room, you got a butler. They give you a butler
and a massage from the bellhop.
and the massage from the bellhop. He didn't like when I turned over, but I did.
The worst hotel I ever stayed in, like from where you're sitting to me, I opened the front door. It was like a motel, and where you're sitting were train tracks, and there was blood in the sink. And this was like early on, you
my
know.
God.
When you didn't have tampons.
What do you know? Where?
TMI.
Like, where was this
It was
place?
like in Indiana or something.
Oh,
it
of course
was
it was in Indiana. That makes a ton
I
of
just
sense.
said that. I just said that.
That makes a ton
No,
of
it
sense.
was like in, I don't remember, like Tennessee maybe.
Okay.
I was doing colleges.
Yeah.
And one time they had me stay in a dorm. And one time they had us, all the comedians, they were going to put us up in like one room,
Like a dorm.
And I was like,
No, that's not
not
going to
doing
work.
this.
Yeah.
It was like there were cots all over. Like, I'm not a princess, but this
Right.
is
You're out of your
just
cot and picking mine.
too weird. So
And another great hotel is the Marina Bay Sands in Singapore. I get this one suite that has 2 bedrooms. It's got 4 bathrooms in it. It's got a karaoke room, a massage room, massive living room, a grand piano in it.
Wow.
You get a butler there too. That's it.
You have an
That's my old
entourage.
suite there. That's the Marina Bay Sands suite.
Gorgeous.
I recognize that anywhere. In Singapore, yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. And you're sitting right there in the bay.
Right.
It's gorgeous.
That is really gorgeous.
How long you been married?
18 years and counting the days. No, 18 years, but
Oh, really?
together for 22. Something
Okay.
like that, 24. Yeah.
Oh, you guys met later. That's good.
Yeah. I met him there. I met him when I was 38. And,
What does he do?
He's a writer. He wrote on Boy Meets World. Do you know that show?
Yeah, I know that show.
And he is, that's an old picture. He's lost some weight.
Look at your hair.
I know.
It's always so
Shiny.
shiny and healthy looking.
Yeah,
you should have
it's all
been. You should have done a
gray.
Johnson & Johnson commercial.
Yeah.
I tried to get L'Oreal to sponsor me last year.
Really?
It would
yeah,
make
during the
sense.
pandemic. I even I'm so fucking bold. I just write to them and go, "Do you want to do something about my age and my hair?" They never responded, but why not take chances,
Yeah,
right?
because with your age, you never ended up sending the email. It
No,
was-
I did. I asked Fran Drescher's ex to send it for me.
He did. It's still sending it since 1970s.
This is the first email in 2021.
He says he still has the first email too, matter of fact.
Oh.
That's a better picture, but
I think I have met him.
you may have.
He does look familiar.
So he's also a composer, like his dad and uncle, and
So he's composing your musical,
he's gonna write some of the music.
which
that
is
the
every
Olympics?
episode, every fucking episode,
Watching the Olympics.
I did that on purpose.
Every fucking episode, Paulie's phone goes off.
What was are those the Olympics?
No.
Oh.
Sorry, was that from? Oh, sorry.
From the Olympics.
I have not watched any of the Olympics.
I didn't even know it was on right now. Is it on already?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it must be killing in the ratings.
I watched the ping pong like game of the Olympics
Because
and
it's
the
in Japan?
badminton game. I get it's like that's just what was on, and the skateboarding. It was so
China's winning.
My friend Vincent said that they should make other things Olympic sports, like lighting your cigarette in the wind.
That'd be a good one. I could do that. I think a cigar would be more impressive because it takes
Yeah.
more heat.
yeah, or like crushing a beer can on your head.
Yeah.
That would be like
America would win.
Yeah, America would win. We have the most douchebags.
We have 9 gold medals.
Okay.
What's ROC?
Russia.
Oh, really?
They can't be Russia because of the doping scandal. So they're the Russian Olympic something or whatever.
Or
You
it's
can
the
just give
rock
your
in the
coun-
building.
You can just give your country a different name.
Well, they
How does that even make sense?
can,
Like independent.
they can.
That's like there's no 13th floor in the hotel. That doesn't mean there's no fucking 13th floor in the
I
hotel.
don't think they could.
So what song do they sing? Rah rah Rasputin, Russia's greatest lavish.
The Olympics have been great. So I haven't watched them. They've been great. You should watch them.
Okay.
Has the boxing started yet?
Some of it started.
They're
yes.
called Russian athletes.
You're a boxer, I read.
I did box as a kid, yeah, in my teens.
Because you stood up to people by boxing.
Yeah, well, I got bullied till I was 15, so I had to box.
I can't believe that.
It was a pretty horrible bullying
I'm so sorry.
from the age of 3, 4 years old. Yeah,
Just your parents?
yeah, they were mean as shit, and they would racially abuse me, which was even worse.
God, that must be so hard.
You know, I won't eat parsley to this day.
Because
And there's no joke. Because one time these 3 white guys held me down in the grass and kept throwing grass in my mouth, and parsley tastes exactly like grass.
Wow.
I literally get flashbacks when I taste parsley. I'm like, what the fuck? I actually get angry when I taste parsley.
that's horrible.
Yeah.
That is really horrible.
How can we make that up?
Yeah, no, you can't. That's so if you ever want to know what grass tastes like, go eat some parsley, you douche.
I feel so bad. I wish I could take all that pain away.
No, I'm glad it's not gone because that's what makes me who I am. It also makes me, I could have gone 2 ways with it. I could have gone angry and bitter, or I
Right.
could have flipped it into something good, which I think I flipped it into the better way.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, I guess everybody has that.
Yeah, I'm sure you had something that bothers you, like when the family sold Rheingold. You were like, fucking assholes. I'm 3 years old.
And they went into the insurance business.
Yeah, what
Do you
is
think-
this?
Yeah, no, I had challenges and adversity.
Did you have a bat mitzvah?
No, but I really wanted one because not for the money. Like a lot of my friends just wanted a bat mitzvah is like when you're Jewish and come of age and then they throw money at you. I didn't want it for the money. I wanted it for the stage time.
Yeah.
But we weren't Jewish enough. Like
The Liebmans weren't Jewish enough?
No, because German Jews tried to assimilate. So like we had a Christmas tree. We just wanted the presents. But no, we weren't very Jewish. I know all the Jewish. I read the Idiot's Guide to Judaism, so I understand my
Which is
religion.
that, the Bible?
No, there really is a book, The Idiot's Guide to. And
Did you have a bar mitzvah, Clay?
Yeah, I just got the money and the gift.
Yeah?
really, you didn't have to sing? I feel like my husband knows you,
It's possible.
Do you know her husband?
Jeff Sherman,
Jeff Sherman.
Beverly High.
His family founded this place called Sherman Oaks.
No.
It was actually Jeff Sherman Oaks, and they just dropped the Jeff.
That was
Jeff
good.
Sherman Oaks. I would want to live in Jeff Sherman Oaks just because
Yeah.
And his cousins were really
it's confusing.
his cousins were really famous for giving out $100 bills. That's where they got the term Encino. Don't forget to give the NC notes. Don't forget NC notes, and they just changed Encino.
Oh my God, are you a wordsmith?
I just follow my lead.
Okay, that's enough pictures of me and my husband.
How happy you are.
I have better
I've seen
pictures.
Clay recognize
Oh, okay.
familiar.
Oh yeah.
It's that whole, yeah.
2 degrees of stupidity in this town.
I feel like the longer I've been in LA,
2 degrees of
everybody,
circumcision when it comes to juice.
ow, everybody looks familiar. Everybody looks like somebody I think I know. Or maybe that's just, because I'm 60. I'm 60.
Do you want to be left alone?
No, I'm just like realizing that. I still think of myself.
I don't ever look at you and go, man, that Wendy sure is 60.
No,
No.
I feel like a
There's-
25-year-old.
There's people like you, Rita Rudner, that I don't know. They're not. They're just Wendy and Rita.
Can I just say, on the way over here, I was listening to Broadway, Seth Rudetsky's Serious show, and he brought up Rita Rudner.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know Rita?
Do I know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know her because I'm a female comedian and we've met, our paths have crossed. I think she's brilliant. I saw her live in Vegas and just brilliant.
She used to do not similar style, but she would do the left turns with her punchlines as well.
Yeah.
But you were the one to me who mastered it.
Thank you. It's like I have to live with these thoughts.
I know they're amazing. And every time you do one, I go, damn it, I wish I thought of that.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Well, I just compiled them. I'm trying to get somebody to publish them.
That would be amazing to read. They would be.
It's called That's the Tweet because, I have all these thoughts.
I had a kid open for me last year, a young black kid from Houston named Jeff Joe. Funny comic.
I don't know him.
No, very young guy. And he had a joke in his act that really made me laugh because it reminded me of you.
Wow.
He said he's not afraid to Google anything in front of anybody. If he doesn't understand the word, I'm just going to Google it or ask Siri. And then he said some guy at work came in and goes, who goes, hey, where were you yesterday? You didn't show up at work. He goes, oh, I had to take my dad to the phlebotomist. He goes, hey, Siri, what's a dad? And I was like, that's such a Wendy Liebman joke.
Yeah. That's really funny. So during the pandemic, I kept going, oh, that's it. That's him, Jeff Joe.
Yeah. Funny guy.
How do you find them?
I just happened to discover him on Instagram. My brother sent me a clip of him, or I think it might have been my brother sent me a clip of him, and I was like, yo, this kid's funny.
It's great that you do that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of funny people out there that, the game is half about talent and half about who you know and who sees you.
That's true. And I look at everybody, like not just comedians, everybody, like what's the potential? So
Yeah.
like I had somebody do Locally Grown. I thought she was great. And now she's one of the stars of the show Hacks.
Oh yeah.
Hannah Einbinder.
I watched that. Yeah.
Which show? Who is she?
Hannah, she's Ava on Hacks.
I never seen Hacks, but
It's
It just
Brilliant.
came out.
no, what's her name?
Hannah Einbinder.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
She it's Jean Smart, right? That's on Hack.
Jean Smart
Yeah.
is the other
She
co-star.
plays the
Jean Smart was
comedian.
on what?
Mayor of Easttown.
And
No, like in the 80s she was on something.
Designing Women.
Designing
Yeah.
Women.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, she was great.
She was so great. So yeah, there's Hannah. And suddenly, like 4 years later, she's a superstar.
She's 24 years old?
Yeah.
She
It's crazy, right?
She's Lorraine Newman's daughter. Do you know Lorraine Newman from Saturday Night Live?
Oh, yeah. Well, she's got the pedigree then.
But she never used it to get ahead.
No, that's fair.
Yeah. Because
But I mean, her mom is, genetically speaking, she's been blessed.
yeah, my mom ran a preschool.
I was made from pre-cum.
Hello.
When did you feel like? Well, that's a question for both of you, I guess. Like, well, I guess I know your story kind of,
You know my
but for the
story.
listeners, what was your big break moment?
So I was in a competition in Boston. It was the Johnny Walker Comedy Search. And Bud Friedman came to the show. And it was really his wife, Alex, who said, she's funny, Bud. And so I went to L.A. And while I was performing in L.A. at the Improv,
At the Improv.
Jim McCauley from The Tonight Show was there and asked me why he hadn't seen me before and put me on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. So I think that was my big break. But I honestly have to say,
That was what year?
91.
Oh, nice.
It's all cumulative. Like there is no big break. Like I
Back
feel
then, it was a big break, though.
yeah, it was
Because
different.
did Johnny invite you over?
He didn't, but he gave me this sign, the good A-OK sign, but it wasn't on camera, and I was really depressed.
Yeah, no, I get it. Because you're like,
Right. Yeah.
when a celebrity, whatever, something about whatever they do, no matter how minimal it is, you take it the wrong way or the right way.
Yeah, it was really like his anointment of you if you got to sit down.
How many times did you do it?
Just once.
That's okay. You still did Carson.
I can't believe it. The whole experience still makes me nervous to think about. But I do remember flying back to Boston because I had a day job still, thinking to myself, I could die now and be okay with this. So, because I
And you
been
got
on
to
the
do
Tonight
Letterman.
Show. Then I did Letterman.
How many times?
9.
9. I never did Letterman once.
Really? What was your big break?
Mine was never a TV break. Mine was the internet. YouTube was my big break, really. File sharing the year before YouTube was my big break. And then YouTube started in 2005, and then somebody dumped my whole special on there. And then that was it. It was over after that.
Wow.
And I remember panicking, going, how am I going to do my act? It's just there. It's sitting right there. People are going to see my act. I'm going to know the same when I get on stage.
Holy shit.
I remember that, girl. Is that what you're going to do to your hair again?
No. No, my husband would divorce me.
Yeah, well, because then you'd look like a lesbian comic.
Yeah. Oh, God. It was just the way my hair was at the time.
It was-
Nobody stopped me. Like, somebody asked me recently, why did you have your hair like that? I'm like, I guess I didn't have friends.
I don't hate it. Is that bad? I mean, I'm
No,
the one
I
with a
don't hate-
mullet and a
I
ponytail at
don't
the same
hate
time
that.
right now.
Because that's who I was at the time.
Yeah, I think you have the right. You have great cheekbones.
Thank
so,
you.
like showing them off with a stylish haircut, I think makes sense.
I kind of look like Sarah Jessica Parker in that.
You're just gonna say
You
that
do.
when every
I
picture
know.
comes up.
Sarah Jessica Liebman.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
91.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
Do you know who the guests were that night?
It was Thelma Houston.
Ooh, Don't Leave Me This Way.
Yeah. And they were plying her with alcohol backstage.
So she would sing?
I don't know.
Or
They didn't offer
want her-
me alcohol.
Well, they probably got her drunk. She was sitting in her dressing room going, don't leave me this way.
You mentioned Richard Branson before. I did something called the Des O'Connor Show in England.
I remember the Des O'Connor show.
I was on the show with Richard Branson and Luther Vandross.
Ooh.
I know.
Now,
And
Luther Vandross is impressive
he
to me.
was
Yeah.
so nervous.
Luther.
He was so apparently he didn't do a lot of talk shows.
Luther was amazing.
And he was so nervous, and he was like telling me how nervous he was, but he was amazing.
You know, interesting fact about Luther Vandross, he was a backup singer for Nile.
No way.
He was a backup singer for
That
Chic.
makes a lot of sense, I feel like.
And then I'll tell you an interesting story. So Nile told me this, that Luther was a backup singer for Chic. And then this guy who was like a producer kind of guy who was very jealous of Nile, who figured he could copy Nile's sound, took Luther and another backup singer and started a group called Change. And Change had some hits. They had Lover's Holiday. They had give me a list of Change songs, Eddie, but Luther was the singer for them.
Since the disco party,
There they are. And they even had a guy that looked like Nile in the group.
that's so
Yeah, Glow
petty.
of Love. That was a big song. Live in the glow of love.
I mean, are they still? Is the music? Do we still hear the music? Like,
Yeah,
we
you'll still hear that song. Lover's
Okay.
Holiday, you must know.
I don't think I know that.
Holiday. Doodle-doon, doon, 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 doon. Boom, 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 boom,
Because that's
boom,
what
boom, boom.
Niall does, that bass.
No,
Yeah.
Niall does the lead guitar. Bernard used to do the bass.
Oh, okay.
Bernard was like the, but Niall comes up with those infectious guitar riffs, which is
Yeah.
what he did in Get Lucky.
Oh my
Dink,
God.
dink, 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 dink.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't get that song out of my head
Yeah.
since the other night.
Yeah.
Since your disco night.
Yeah. I loved disco.
Mm.
I loved that whole era.
This is Glow of Love. I was moving.
This sounds familiar, yeah.
It does not sound familiar to me, but it does sound like Niall songs.
But you can hear how he's trying to copy it out. Ding, 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 ding.
Sing it, Russell.
I love Luther.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Luther
And
was
he and
dope.
Richard Marx did the My Father song.
Yeah, the
Dance with My Father?
Yeah.
But he wrote it for Luther?
I think so.
That sounds about right.
And I follow Richard Marx on Twitter, and he's so political and funny.
A friend of mine is his doctor.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so I was at my gynecologist. At her name
Any
is,
openings?
Her name is Bonnie Beaver. I swear I'll show you.
Her name is Bonnie Beaver?
I'll show you the card. I carry it in my wallet.
Did you choose her specifically because of that? Be honest.
No. I needed.
And she calls you Boney Beaver, which is ironic.
So she's examining me, and she goes, "What do you do for a living?" And I go, "I'm a comedian." And she goes, "Do you know?" Oh God, I'm blanking. Oh, this is not good, Wendy. Do you know Kevin Hart? No, it wasn't Kevin. It was another comedian.
Okay.
And I'm like, yeah, but she's like
Down there.
Down there. Who's the comedian? He did the show with George that one time at Vitello's. No, it wasn't Arsenio. It was
Because one night it was you, it was me, you, George Lopez, Arsenio Hall,
God, it'll come back to me.
Fraser Smith.
3 a.m. No, he had his own radio show for a
That was
little
Fraser
while.
Smith did.
No, it wasn't him. Anyway, it was just weird. Her name. I need a new doctor though, because she retired. Apparently, there is also a gynecologist named Dr. Hyman
Wow.
in the Valley.
Sometimes your calling comes in a name.
I know.
And no joke, there was a doctor, I don't know if it was in Canada or if it was the doctor who invented I'm not making this up, the penis enlargement operation. His name was Dr. Stubbs. I swear. You can probably Google that.
Dr. Stubbs.
Eddie just,
And how do you know that?
because I remember, he's a Toronto guy.
Oh, yeah, that's wrong.
Yeah, Toronto guy. Robert Stubbs.
Just
It would have been better if his name was Richard, but you know.
Just Photoshop it. That's what I'm thinking. My husband and I have been.
And there was a Dr. Long as well. Yeah.
Oh,
Dr. Stubbs.
you can Google Bonnie Beaver.
Google Bonnie Beaver, Eddie.
I'll find.
And don't ever clear your Google history.
No, she was a good doctor, but she retired, which is really weird. Like my dentist retired this year. I'm
Was
getting
she,
to that age.
old, or?
No, she was maybe a little older.
Yeah, she's not.
Yeah. Maybe I should retire.
No.
No, I'm just getting started.
Yeah.
No, you're just.
I'm just getting
Keep your
started.
beaver out there, lady. We need you in the comedy world.
What do you think
Thank
is
you.
different about? You said you're just finding your voice. Like, what do you think is different now between when you started? Because you got a lot of attention when you started.
I have more to say now, I think. And
Are you going down that road?
I'm just more. No, I'm not going to be like political or anything.
No. Yeah, not in a good or bad way. Just
Right.
you find yourself writing that way.
I feel like I was so set on writing, making sure the jokes were perfect. Like
They
trying
were
to,
perfect.
Thank you. That now I just kind of want to have a conversation. And so I'm more conversational, I guess. But I haven't performed a lot since I've had this epiphany. And part of it was watching Mrs. Maisel. Did you watch Mrs. Maisel?
I did watch Mrs. Maisel.
And although I didn't like completely love her as a stand-up, it did give me like she had so much confidence.
Really good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never watched it.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some people. I've talked to people who really didn't like it. I mean, I know that it's a tough call or a tough ask to write humor from a different time period. I feel like for a show now,
What was it set in?
the
40s or 50s.
the 50s, yeah, right,
Yeah.
50s,
Because it was supposed to be
Yeah.
like Joan Rivers.
yeah, and
I did love Joan.
and Lenny Bruce. Lenny
John
Bruce
was
is a
so
character
funny.
on the show too.
Yeah. There's somebody playing him.
Yeah, they made him into a character.
I think you should call your new special Epiphany Haddish.
I love it. I want to call my next, because I am going to do a special. It's going to be called My Big Break.
Have you never done a special?
I did one called Taller on TV, but we
was
shot
it HBO?
Showtime. We shot it and we sold it to them, so it wasn't like they're doing.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I used to do. 2006, 10, and 2006, 8, and 10. I did all my own production, and I was so happy with it because you could just do what you want with it.
Where did you film it?
San Francisco, then New York, then London.
And you have huge audiences, I've read.
Yeah, well,
Like,
each one got bigger. San Francisco was like, maybe 2,000 people. And then New York was Madison Square Garden. And then London was the O2 Arena. So,
that's like 16,000 people.
well, New York was the theater at Madison Square Garden. And we had sold it out for 2 nights. So it equals 16,000, but it's 8,000 a night. And then, but O2 Arena was 16,000 people. We did 2 nights there. So it was really 32,000 people.
My biggest audience was 5,000 people.
Where?
That was in Indiana, actually. I was opening for Bob Hope
Oh wow!
at
Oh,
the
wow.
Indianapolis outdoor tent.
For Bob Hope.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I
Wow.
know.
Did he know?
You know what?
No, not that you were opening. Did he know where he was?
He came alive on stage. Like it really is one of those, they're kind of disheveled and
Yeah.
then they come alive.
It's like that, something about that microphone.
Yeah.
I recently, about a month ago, I had lunch with Bob Newhart.
Really?
Yeah. And it was amazing.
How did that come to be?
I had met Bob 11 years ago. He had asked me to be part of something that he was doing. And I was so like freaked out by it. Like I was so honored. And then I was telling my manager, Paul, I was like, I'd really love to see Bob again. Because once you get him on the podcast, I go, I don't really care if we get him on. I just want to see Bob again. And he's 91 years old, sharp as a tack. Interestingly enough, Clay you grew up with Bob's kids, right? Yeah, you grew up with them, so it's old hat to him.
Blomquist was the one that guy Jared Dickman was the one that originally introduced him.
Yeah. And Bob was so gracious and so sharp, still 91 years old. And I said to him, the same way I told you that you I say you're the inventor of the person who made the jokes turn left. So I'm sticking to it. And I told Bob, I said to Bob, you're responsible for an entire generation of comedians that are not afraid to take their time on stage and enjoy the silence in a good way. And he said, I can't take credit for that. And I said, really? He goes, that's Jack Benny. I go, what do you mean? He goes, I saw Jack Benny in 1960 in Vegas, and Sammy Davis Jr. opened for him. And he said, Sammy Davis and the band just killed. And then Jack Benny walks out. He goes, good evening. Give it up for Sammy and the boys. And there I am with Bob. Young and spry.
Fantastic.
Bob, not me. And
You
he
look
said,
good in a suit.
Yeah.
thanks. He said that Jack Benny comes out and goes, give it up for Sammy Davis and the boys. And so I was recently doing a movie with a British actor. His name is... do you guys want to see Sammy Davis again? And he brought out Sammy Davis again. Sammy did another song, killed. And then Jack Benny walks back out and goes, Clive.
Oh my God. That's
I was like, that's the best, dude.
Well, I just, I wrote a joke like that. I just read a book called The Power of Silence. Shh. My husband gave it to me.
There's a comic from Canada named Stuart Francis. Have you ever seen Stuart Francis? He used to do a joke on stage. He used to go, "Did I do my deja vu joke yet?" No? That's weird.
I always wanted to open my set by saying, did I already tell you? And then
That's like Kevin Nealon when he walks on. As soon as you introduce him, you know, if Kevin Nealon gets on stage, how am I doing for time? Makes me laugh every
I love
time.
him. He did your podcast.
He did. He's so funny.
Yeah, he's
Oh my God, the guy's so funny. I'm lucky. Like I get to meet people that I have idolized. I've admired people I never thought I would ever meet. You, Kevin Nealon, John Lovitz, all the rappers I ever
John
grew up
Lovitz.
with,
Yeah.
fighters that I admired, and
Did you ever rap?
no, I'm terrible at that. Eddie rapped at one point. Though.
did?
Eddie has 16 songs recorded,
If
and
Wendy wants
they
to listen to them, I'll share.
and they are awful.
The first time I heard anybody rapping, I was on a city bus in San Francisco, and there were just 4 guys sitting in the back talking to each other and rapping. Anyway, it was just one of these moments where I was like, what is that? And then I realized it's rap. But what you were saying about Nile and Daft Punk, when that song won,
Yeah.
that was the resurgence of disco. Did you just turn those
I
lights
did,
on
yeah,
with your
because
phone?
I realized it was getting a
Oh
little
my
dark, and you're
God, this is-
a very dark woman, so I had to put some light on you.
Yeah, that blew my mind that disco was over until that song came back.
It only took you 30 years, 35. I never believed that disco was dead when they said it died in 1980. That very racist event in Chicago.
I didn't know about that until the other night.
Yeah, I didn't know. I found out about it recently. More
What was
recently.
it? Wrigley Field, right?
No, it was the White Sox, I think.
I was in Boston.
No, it was
No, that's Chicago too.
I don't know
Yeah.
which socks it were. I don't know which socks they
That's
were.
the South team, South Side team.
Why, there's 2 Chicago teams?
Yeah, there's the Cubs and the White Sox.
The South Side.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. What's their field?
The Bee Gees documentary, they deal with that.
Oh, yeah, that was a great documentary. Did you watch that? The Bee Gees
I
documentary?
watched half of that. Yeah, I only saw the first half.
That's great.
Great. Another great documentary is the Linda Ronstadt
Oh, that's an
documentary.
amazing one. I made Eddie watch that on a flight.
Oh, I love her. I didn't realize. What is that on?
Oh, it's amazing. And she talks about the Spanish album she did. It's the highest selling Spanish language record ever sold.
Yeah, she was just like a renaissance
Yeah,
where
she
she
did
could
everything.
sing any
Yeah.
genre.
And you know,
And,
Jim Carrey dated her?
No.
Yeah, yeah. She talked about it.
Yeah, Jim Carrey dated her.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he?
Yeah. He met her like somewhere in the 80s, and she saw him at the Comedy Store. And she said, "Oh, you're really funny." And he was like, "Hey, want to go on a date?" And she was like, "What? Yeah, okay." And they ended up dating for a little while.
Did you watch the Friends reunion?
I didn't, but I do love Friends. Did you watch it, Court?
Love Friends.
I didn't watch it.
How was it? Did you watch it, Wendy?
I did watch it recently. I loved Friends.
Me too.
It made me a little sad just because none of them seemed happy.
Oh.
They're so fucking rich.
Some less than others.
Yeah. Well, so I had met Matthew Perry once. I went to visit Yvette Nicole Brown when she was doing Odd Couple. So I went to a taping of it, and I met Matthew Perry, and I said, so years ago, my agent was sending me out on 2 auditions. One was for a commercial and one was for a sitcom. And I could only go to one. And so somebody said, don't go to the sitcom. It's never going to go. And go to the commercial. So I go to the commercial audition. I'm dancing with the dishwasher. I don't get the commercial. But the sitcom was Friends.
Wow.
So I was either Monica or Phoebe, I think. So I told him that, and he just kind of like,
Isn't it funny how people like, because these stories mean a lot to us, and
Right.
they're completely dismissed by these people. And
I
you're like,
wasted his time, basically. But I just thought it was really, I was like, I could have been Monica. Yeah, right.
yeah. No, I have those episodes happen to me. I told you what happened to me that with my story about not knowing how to talk to people in the industry.
No.
I told you last week when we were at the
Oh,
Disco Oasis thing.
I wasn't paying attention.
I know, I guess not.
Do you feel like sometimes you're too quick? Like, how many times does that happen to you where it's like you were too quick and it came out and you were like, oh.
Oh, I do it all the time. I
Really?
told you about when I saw Willem Dafoe a couple of years ago.
Oh.
At the Toronto Film Festival. So about 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, I was at the Toronto Film Festival, and I was at one of the gifting suites, and Willem Dafoe was standing. It was just him and I standing out in the hallway. And I go, hey man. He goes, hey, how you doing? Good, yeah. He goes, you got a movie in here? I go, yeah. I go, you? He goes, yeah. I go, hey man, congratulations on your huge penis. He goes, what? I go, no, I heard that you have a really huge penis, and I think if I had one, I'd just walk around with it hanging out all day. And then they go, Russell? I go, oh, I gotta go. And I left. Apparently,
He's no Kevin Hart.
no, but apparently, due to this episode, it sounds like I have a huge penis fetish. And all you're finding out is that I'm a huge dick, but that's all you're finding out. Is that all you're finding out?
I had never heard that about him.
Hey guys, let me tell you something. If you haven't been focusing on your ladies' pleasure enough, it's time to get it together and make that a priority. Women are 4 times more likely than men to say sex is not at all pleasurable in the past year, and that's just not acceptable. But luckily, Dame Products is here to change all that. Dame Products is a women-founded company making toys for sex that close the pleasure gap, developed and tested by real people with vulvas in Dame Labs. They're engineered to bring your solo and coupled play to new heights. So basically, they're making the world a happier place, one vagina at a time. I tried doing that, but there's a lot of vaginas out there. If you want to try a Dame vibrator that's especially good for couples, I'd recommend the Eva Couples Vibrator, which delivers clitoral stimulation during penetrative sex. Basically, while we're banging, I get to use that on her too. It's flexible, wings tuck under the labia for a snug fit, so you can have your hands free for intimacy in all kinds of positions. Their vibrators and accessories are made with medical-grade silicone, smart design principles, and lots of love, earning glowing press from the New York Times, W Magazine, and many more. Dame has so many incredible products. Dame has so many incredible products that can add pleasure to your lady's life, so go check out the selection. Go to dameproducts.com/Peters today for 15% off site-wide. Again, go to dameproducts.com/Peters today for 15% off site-wide.
Really good excuse, really.
My cousin once got kicked out of an apartment because he would get packages from his friends in Colombia, and the landlord thought it was drugs and kicked him out.
My friend's father, AV, my friend DJ AV that was on the podcast. He said his dad got in his car one time, and AV had Altoids, but one of the Altoids had fallen out onto the carpet, and his dad picks it up and goes, Alex, I can't believe you are doing drugs. He's like, what? What are you talking about? He goes, This is drugs. And I'm like,
God.
It's an Altoid. Taste it. I'm not taking your drugs. And then he eventually got his father to taste it. It was like the mint. It was like,
So funny. Yeah, Tic Tacs look like Xanax.
do they?
No, I don't know.
I've never taken Xanax.
I don't take Xanax.
No, don't Xanax look like a little brick?
I don't
We
know.
lost our Googler.
Yeah, I've only done.
Oh, yeah.
I think I've only
And how many
taken
do
a
you need?
Xanax like once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I got hit by the car, they gave me oxycodone.
Oh.
And I understood the opioid crisis.
Really?
Yeah. Well, they put my leg back on wrong. I don't know if you know that.
I don't know
it was
that. No.
rotated, so my foot was pointed out. So they had to break the bone and move the foot back.
Oh, they turned it the wrong way?
It was just on an angle, and there was like no way I was going to live like that. So they had to like cut it. And anyway, I took opioids for a while, and I get it.
Yeah.
I get
Do
it.
you feel like you could have been addicted?
I could have been if I didn't like stop myself. There was a point where I had to go.
What is the feeling on it?
I just felt
Euphoric?
elated. Yeah, like this is fine. Like,
Yeah.
I
You're like, my leg is just turned around in the wrong direction. It's fine.
Turn around, left leg.
Every now and then it falls apart.
You can sing.
Yeah, this is your new bit. We're your new writers.
I love it. I love it. So I get the opioid crisis.
Yeah.
It is really powerful.
I have
addictive
trouble
stuff.
convincing myself to take an Advil.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to bring anything other than propofol into your...
Yeah, Propofol's fine. I did it once or twice now, but I understood Propofol immediately.
Yeah.
But when they mixed it with the others, I was like, no, this sucks. Don't ever do that to me again. Straight prop me.
I never got a colonoscopy.
I think is it mostly for men that need to do it?
No. I did. Okay, so Bonnie Beaver was like, you don't need to do...
Do we trust Bonnie Beaver?
We do. She was a great doctor. Had something. Ooh.
That's good, Paulie. So glad you turned off the lights. Did you do that?
Thank you so
I
much.
did. I turned the ones on. And
Perfect.
I got it, Paulie.
She was like, no, you can just do the one where you shit in the box.
Is that what she said?
Like a cat.
You know when you're, I think, here's the thing. When it's your gynecologist, you don't want everyone to hear shit in the box ever in your life.
She didn't say that, but it's the one where on the commercial, the box is dancing down the sidewalk. And that has to be the worst job. The person who opens the boxes.
Do you know Yoshi? Have you ever had Yoshi on one of your shows?
Yoshi.
Japanese guy.
Well,
comic.
Yoshi was my lawyer who won my case with my
hilarious.
leg.
I didn't know
but
that.
He's not a comedian. He's
No,
just
there's a comedian
great
friend of mine named Yoshi.
personal.
And he does a lot of medical testing for money. And he was doing this one where they're giving some medication and then they needed your stool sample. And they paid you, I think, $50 a stool sample. And then he had sent them like 10 stool samples and they hadn't paid him. And he was so mad. They stole my shit. And then he said, I'm going to go give them a bad Yelp review. And I'm like, there's a Yelp review for a shit stool sampling? And then he goes, when I went there, they had all kinds of bad reviews. They didn't pay anybody.
Oh my God.
They were just stealing people's shit. I'm like, this is weird.
That is so weird.
Yeah.
I can't even wrap my head around that.
Don't wrap your head around shit. That's weird.
No, but people who like do those medical things for money,
Yeah.
that's scary a little bit.
I mean, Yoshi's one of those guys. He lives life on the edge. He's got a very dark sense of humor, but it's very funny.
Anybody else I should know about?
Yoshi is very funny, but I don't
Yoshi?
know that he would do well in front of your crowd. You have nice people in the audience?
I have Tom Papa coming up
Oh, Tom Papa's hilarious.
with special guest Monica Piper.
Who's Monica Piper?
Oh, one of the funniest people ever. She either created or she wrote on Rugrats for many years.
Oh, wow.
And is one of the voices as well. And she also wrote on Roseanne and Veronica's Closet. She's a phenomenal comedian. She did something called a one-woman show called Not That Jewish that got a lot of attention. But she's just one of the best. There she is, Monica.
Oh, I don't know Monica Piper.
Yeah. And then I have coming up Alonzo Bowden.
Alonzo always kills.
Yeah. And yeah, that's who I have coming up so far.
I can't believe I don't know Monica Piper.
Oh, you have to.
You know who I met at your show was Dear Abby.
Dear Abby.
She was at your show.
Jeannie Phillips. I met her because I was hosting.
She's a very attractive woman.
She is. Jeannie Phillips, AKA Dear Abby. I met her. I was hosting the Dee Dee Hirsch mental health benefit. Do you host benefits?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it benefits me.
I know, right?
I like hosting things. It's actually fun for me.
That's how I met Lisa, the woman that brought me to the disco party. I hosted an event, and she was in the audience, and she came up to me afterwards.
And was like, hey, you're hilarious.
I mean, like, how do you make friends? Why are some people friends? Like, what is it?
It's always like something in common. You have something in common.
Right. Because there were 600 people at that convention, and she was the only one that I stayed friends with. Anyway, Jeannie Phillips started coming to Locally Grown every month. Dear
Yeah, I remember
Abby.
meeting her and going, God damn, Dear Abby's hot.
You know who Dear Abby is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
She's iconic. I miss her. Yeah.
Haven't seen her, I guess.
Yeah.
Were you very careful over the COVID times?
We did not leave the house. I started going to acupuncture, and my husband asked me to hold off because he just didn't want me to bring it home because he has asthma. And so I have to be extra careful. Were you careful?
I mean,
Did you go
I was
out?
careful to a certain extent, and then I just started getting fed up with it.
So you went out?
I didn't go out, but I started taking dates when they were offered to me. And I know, knock on wood, I never got sick. But I've been taking a high dose of vitamin D for many years. Mm-hmm. And a doctor friend of mine was like, that's pretty much all you really need to do.
Really? For your autoimmune system
Yeah,
or
it
your
helps with that.
Yeah.
vitamin D?
Yeah, I heard zinc and vitamin D was.
Yeah, I take high doses of vitamin D, like 10,000 BTUs or something like that a day.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
It doesn't help me with energy. I don't feel any more energetic or anything, but sometimes I think I have COVID because I'm so tired all the time. But I think that's
Is
just,
that because you're working so
I think that's
hard?
because I'm working.
Yeah.
Every day I'm working, I'm doing something
Right.
that takes all my energy. Like when I have my son, that's all my energy. That's literally, ooh.
Is his name Russell?
His name is Russell.
Oh,
His name is Russell Wendy Liebman Peters. And it's interesting that you're here because I did name him after you.
Yeah. Yeah.
so cute.
Rolls right off the tongue.
Oh, yeah, you met him today, Court.
Oh yeah, I've met him before.
You met him before.
Yeah, I've met him before.
What
He's a
did you do
sweet
for a
kid.
living?
My son, he's an actor.
Like, seriously, have you thought about putting him in?
His mother wants to put him in like modeling and stuff like that and acting, but I think we would have to wait for him to be able to speak first.
Did you ever do any acting when you were really little?
No, nobody in my family was ever in the business.
He is gorgeous.
Yeah.
He's
He
a
looks
pretty little
just
boy.
like her.
He does.
Tell it
I'm
like
just
it
kidding.
is.
I'm
No,
kidding.
He really does look like
there
us.
he is.
Aw.
No, that's me.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Good hair day that day. Nice.
he's really cute.
Yeah. He's so cute. Every time I have seen him, he like always brings me like a toy of his.
One of his
and puts
toys.
it
He'll
in
walk
my
over and
hand.
give her a toy.
Yeah.
Kind of like, come on, let's play.
Yeah. But it's also like it feels like a welcome gift, but then I know I'm supposed to give it back. But then it's like, oh, we're both nice people. We both did that. See?
Sweet. You're teaching him good lessons.
Well, she
I'm
does
not
end up
teaching
taking some of the toys. Like today, she's taking it. She's like, it's my birthday. I'm taking it.
Yeah, it's my thank you. It's my birthday. I'm gonna take this.
Is it a big birthday?
It actually is.
Oh.
It's 35. I feel like it's weird. Last year I was like so okay with talking about it, but I was like, and I'm still okay with talking about it, but I was like, I guess there might come a point where I don't want to anymore. It's
I
like, no.
started doing a joke when I was 23. I'm still doing it now. The joke was
Or rather is.
I'm 22 is what I said. And now that I'm 22, I'm 22 for 2 years now, and I've been telling that joke for 5, something like that.
Oh yes, I saw you do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when your America's Got Talent.
Yeah, but I still do it.
yeah.
Although now I stopped doing it, and now I just say I'm 56, and I keep forgetting things like that I'm 60.
Those are the left turns. Those are what I love.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so funny.
So, yeah, age is a weird thing because we don't have any control over it. And
Yeah.
I mean, you do, but the only control you have is ending it.
You're right.
that's
Literally the only
true.
control
Yeah.
you have over it.
But I just want to tell anybody who's listening that it's never over until it's over. Like you can have as many chances as you want
Yeah.
to take as many chances as you want because
It depends on what you're looking for life.
yeah.
It took me 50 years to find my girl.
Yeah.
I'm so happy you found her.
I'm happy I found her. Jeez. And
Oh
she's
my God.
co-hosted this with me a couple of times.
Yep. She's
Really?
been great. Everybody loves her. Always lots and lots of positive Allie comments.
Except when they're like, her voice is grating.
Yeah, no, that's just when I chime in.
The
That's
nails
just
on
when
the
I,
chalkboard.
yeah, nails on a chalkboard. So
I don't have a nails on the chalkboard response. I have a response to one thing, and that is eating off of a wooden spoon. It gives me the willies.
that's so specific.
I know,
Like
a
a
wooden
ice cream spoon. Like
You know,
the kind
I
that comes to the
understand that to a certain degree
Do
because I
you?
don't like. You know, when you go to get a coffee and they give you those wooden sticks to stir it with, I
Yes,
hate that.
Exactly.
I hate that. I'm like, I can't taste the coffee. I taste stick.
Yeah, there's
I have weird pet peeves though. Like certain things really bother me. Like bathroom fans drive me insane. And I could walk in that house right now, and if there's a bathroom fan on or a fan on in any of the rooms, I'll hear it.
really.
Doesn't
But you
matter how-
had no idea the filter pump was on in the pool this whole time.
I knew. Yeah, I didn't. Ironically, but it's not a bathroom fan. That's
Right,
why.
that's true.
But bathroom fan specifically,
So,
and the sound
because
of
you
it.
know somebody just went in there.
No, just the sound of it drives me nuts. And the sound of a toilet seat whacking down, whack. It's like this. The loudest sound on earth is that. And then it's a California or an American thing when you say thank you and they say I fucking lose my mind when somebody does that. Like a server, like, oh, thank you. What the fuck does that mean?
It's very dismissive.
Yeah, it's like, what do you mean? Yeah, you're supposed to thank me. Get the fuck, you're welcome. You're welcome.
That is, I feel like there's something, someone's trying to say something when they do that.
Yeah. Hey, you didn't leave me a tip.
Yeah.
I have one pet peeve. I have two pet peeves. Well, three. I don't like when people are mean for no reason, like dismissive. But that's more general. I don't like when the perforation is not on the fold, like on a bill when they have you tear it off, but it's not on the fold. So you have to like fold it very carefully. It's like tiny. You have no idea what I'm talking about.
Like on those handwritten bills.
Yeah, I still do those. I know I'm dating myself. Well, somebody has to. My other pet peeve is when they, in a movie or something, when they have like a child's handwriting, like Lemonade, and they have the L backwards or whatever, and you know an adult did it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that bothers me. Like, it's the weirdest
Yeah,
thing.
you couldn't find an actual child to write your
Right.
lemonade.
Yeah. It's labor
I don't know
laws.
why that just
guess.
bothers me.
Yeah.
Do you have any pet peeves?
I don't know. Those are so like specific and
I
good.
know.
I know that I do. I feel like, yeah, I mean, they're all like, I think they're pet peeves everybody probably has, like, just like when people don't use turn signals. That's
Oh,
a
it drives
big
me nuts
one.
too. I get
hate
really
that.
angry with that.
Yeah, because it's just so. And then when you use a turn signal and then they speed up when they don't have to, I hate that too.
That's an LA thing.
That is an LA thing. They're like, oh, what are you from out of town? You're going to be polite about this? We don't do that here.
How long have you lived here?
Like 6 years.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
How long have you
But-
been in LA, Wendy?
Since 91.
Oh wow, you
I
came for
know.
Carson and then like, would you like a return ticket? No, thank you.
Well, no, I did go home and then I packed up and I moved back. And then I started going on the road, which is ironic.
Yeah, that's what,
'cause-
who told me that before I ever moved to America? Harlan Williams told me, don't move to LA just to go on the road.
Right.
Because then you're just renting an apartment for no reason.
Right.
And I said, I'm not going to move anywhere until I can afford to buy something. So I didn't move to the U.S. until I was able to buy something.
Is Harlan still in Canada?
No, he's here.
He's here?
He's so funny too.
Oh my God. He once got me bumped up to first class. This is when nobody gave a shit.
Right.
So there were all these seats, and he goes, my friend, I wanted to talk to her. So they were like, go ahead. Now you can't, you have to sit in your assigned
seat.
seat. I haven't flown since the pandemic. So my husband's a germaphobe, so I know he will never cheat on me.
You're all the germs he wants.
Yeah.
That's right. No, he would never cheat on me because he loves me. There was no joke there. I couldn't think of a punchline. Not all of these have to be funny, right?
No, I agree.
Okay. So
Have you heard my act? Not all of it has to be funny.
you're so funny.
This is nice.
What I
like
love
this.
about your act when I saw you live was you talked about stuff that we had just talked about in the green room. Like
Right.
you made it in the moment.
I like
love that.
doing that.
I
Yeah.
think the audience loves that because they see that you're not just remembering a script. It's like you are the funny person.
Yeah, I think this new act that I'm doing has a lot less crowd work than the old ones. There's a lot of material in this new one, which I'm impressed with. Maybe not the quality of it, but I'm impressed that there's not as much crowd work.
Quantity.
There's more quantity in this
Do you
one.
sit down and write?
I don't. I do not have the capacity, the intellectual capacity, or the ability to sit there and focus on writing. And I wish I did, because I feel like I would get far more out of my material. Joe Rogan was giving me shit one night about it. You're fucking lazy. That's why. You're fucking lazy. I go, Joe, that's just my process. Well, once you try sitting down out of your comfort zone and write down your act, and I bet you you'll come up with a better act. And I go, I bet you I will, but I also bet you I'm not going to do it. Here's another bet. I'm not a gambler.
I had to follow him once in Boston. Actually, it was in New Hampshire. No, Rhode Island in the late 80s. And he was always really funny. I started with all those guys. Louis
Oh, yeah, you
CK.
would have. Louis, Patrice.
No, Patrice was after me, I think. Or, no, I think he was after me.
DePaolo, was he from out there too?
Nick DiPaolo. I opened for him at his alma mater, the University of Orono, Maine. And yeah, I just remember it was a 6-hour drive, and the whole night I heard him in the next room with his girlfriend. But did I just
Because he
say
talks
that?
loud. He really does talk
But
loud.
I know all those guys from
Lenny Clark and
Lenny Clark. Got to open for him, and his brother runs Giggles. Have you performed there?
no. What about Dane
Dane Cook was a little after me, and so
and Robert Kelly? And no, Robert Kelly started way late.
But I've met them all at Montreal, and then I did Dennis Leary was the first comedian I opened for.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and it was in front of like 7 people. It was a 2.5-hour drive in the rain, 7 people, and he killed. And yeah, I worked with him. I worked with
Wasn't Stephen Wright from Boston too?
yeah, but he started a little before me, so
Right.
he was gone. But I did get to meet him, and he told me when I did the Tonight Show, I was like freaking out about it. He said, "Just make that audience laugh. Like, don't try to entertain people at home because they're not there."
That's what I always say too. When I'm doing that, I go, I just need to make this room laugh.
Yeah,
Because even if you think I bombed at home, I know I killed that room.
yeah.
That makes sense. I feel like you're so present, so that I don't even know if, like, would you even be able to think about that, what people are thinking at home? Because, like,
I don't think about it at the time. I think about it
Yeah.
beforehand.
okay.
And then when I get off. But when I'm on stage, no, I can't. Because I have a bad poker face. It would be like, oh, you could see it right in my face. I remember the first time I did a TV show in Canada. It was 1994. It was a TV show called Comedy at Club 54. And they had this, I was opening, and then the headliner was a guy named Crazy Lenny. You know Crazy Lenny Schultz?
Yeah.
You want to see Crazy Lenny go crazy? You want to see it go crazy? That's what he was like. You remember him?
I just remember meeting him. We were doing press, and we were both in the hotel lobby in Chicago, but we weren't on the same show. He was like in a different club.
Yeah, I opened.
crazy.
And I went on stage and I drew a blank, and it was TV. And I even went,
no.
Ben, I've said to the producer, I go on stage, I go, Ben, I can't remember my act.
Oh no.
And there's a clip on YouTube. It's kind of, if you just look at the end of the show, you'll see the host, Ben Guyatt, and then Lenny Schultz, and you'll see me, and I have this look like fuck did what did I just do?
No.
I thought I literally had ended my career right there.
That's what I mean. It's all cumulative. Like,
Yeah.
who gives a fuck? If you want to go back and do it again, you will.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I was trying to explain to people. I go, I watched Quincy Jones's documentary, and it's, his whole life in front of you. And you look at all the times he thought he was done. and he was never done. He only had bigger things ahead of him.
But I
Yeah.
haven't seen that documentary, but I just watched a documentary on, well, actually, my husband has a documentary about the Sherman Brothers.
Really?
It's called The Boys. And
Where is it?
It's on Disney Plus, actually. It's
Is
called
it- oh yeah,
The
because they did a bunch
Boys.
of Disney movies.
And the story is they wrote
Hold on,
all
my
this music
flight's here.
together.
My Uber's here.
Wrote all this music together, but they hated each other. Or they
wow.
just didn't get along.
And they were brothers?
Yeah. And they
That's weird when family members don't get along. Do you get along with your sister?
I love her.
Yeah.
I love her.
My
yeah.
brother and I are very close.
Yeah,
He's my
your
manager, and I just FaceTimed him earlier today. Like, I don't know, it's my
He's
brother.
your
How can you
BFF?
go wrong with your brother?
Right.
Well, it's like
You're gonna have moments where you're gonna have, you know, whatever you're going through at the time, and you know whatever may happen. But at the end of the day, I'm like, that's all we got.
exactly, but also old friends. Like I have this Roslyn High School reunion thing going since the pandemic. There are just 4 of us, and we get together every month on Zoom. And there's just like you trust them implicitly because
They knew you
know-
before you were Wendy Liebman. They know Wendy.
Yeah, but I know them too. Like,
Yeah, it's the same thing, yeah.
I feel safe with them.
Yeah, like my best friend in Canada, Marlon Stacko, the big black wacko. 44 years we've been best friends. And we go through these moments where it's never even like, we never even had a fight, but I'll hear through somebody else, yo, what'd you do to Stacko? I'm like, what do you mean, what did I do to Stacko? He fucking says, you don't hear from you. I go, I called him last. You know what I mean? But it's like, but it's never like, hey, you asshole, what the fuck? It's just like, then I'll just FaceTime. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm fixing the car. And I'm like, okay, love you, bye. And he'd be like, bye. I go, say I love you, motherfucker. Say I love you.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
That is really sweet.
Yeah, I mean, some friends you have and you can just hang out with them and you don't have to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then other friends, it's like you have to always, like with you, I have to always keep talking.
I like lulls. Remember I said I like to enjoy the silence?
I know,
Yeah.
like the Bob Newhart.
Yeah.
Ness.
You know what's funny is Stacko called me last year. And this is weird to me when he did this. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? He calls me and he goes, hey, I need to ask you something serious. And I go, well, what's up? Guy, are you doing blow? I go, what? Are you serious? He goes, yeah. Are you doing cocaine? I go, are you out of your mind? I don't even smoke weed. What the fuck, I'm going to skip that and go to cocaine? He goes, no, I met this girl and she said that she saw you doing blow. And I go, you've known me since I was 7 years old. How could you even ask me this question? I barely get drunk. You're going to ask me if I do cocaine? He's like, seriously. And he's looking at me. It's FaceTime. He's like, are you looking at me? Like, are you? And I'm like, are you out of your mind? Like, what do you mean am I doing blow? What the fuck? And I go, are you joking? He's like, okay, I got to go, but I'll call you back. I go, okay. And he calls me back. I go, I can't answer. I'm doing blow. I got this rail. Let me finish this rail and I'll call you back. I'm like, what do you mean am I doing blow? And I'm like, you know me. This person, I don't even know. How can they say they see me do something I did never do? I've never done in my life.
Well, because you're a celebrity.
Yeah,
And so
it's-
they endow you with,
They expect you to maybe change in like
Coke.
negative ways.
Yeah, you moved to California. You're doing drugs. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I did hookers and no, I did porn stars. I
Yeah.
didn't do drugs.
People have weird ideas about LA. When I first moved here, one of my friends from Chicago was like, do you do that thing with your salad?
Wait, Eddie, are you leaving?
Yeah, I gotta go.
Wait, hey, can you drop Tootie home?
Sure.
Okay.
Has to be
so
on
nice
right
to
now.
meet
Right
you.
now.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
Oh shit, we've been on for a long time.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
We're right at that point.
I'll grab it.
Oh. Well, Eddie's ended this episode for us.
He's
Nice
closed
and
the door on
abruptly.
it.
The same way he got to America is the same way he's leaving, without permission. I want to thank one of my favorite comics of all time, Courtney Blomquist, for being here. I want to thank. I want to thank that plane for fucking up your accent.
So I can wear something else.
I would love it. You can come
Okay.
back anytime. We
All
don't
right.
do just one ever. You're like, you can come back anytime. Let's say you're driving in the neighborhood, you go,
Yeah.
and you go, hey, Russell, yeah, come on over. Let's do it.
Okay, because all my dentists are in.
Oh, perfect. They're right around the corner. Yeah.
Go.
You have a good dentist?
He's new because my other one, yeah, he's good. Dr. Shapiro.
Shapiro.
Yeah.
Not Dr. Beaver.
No,
Not
Dr. Beaver's the
Beaver. That's
gynecologist.
the other.
Dr.
Cole.
Cavity is her dentist.
Yeah.
Try to set that up for you.
Thanks,
No, my
Paulie.
dentist retired. Like, no. My dentist said I have to floss every day. He said I'll live longer, like 6 years. If you don't floss,
You get 6 more years out of flossing?
if you floss, you'll
What
live
about
6 more
Waterpik?
years. Or that. But I'm like, well, then that's 6 more years I'm going to have to floss. You guys are my favorite audience ever. Can I just do shows in your backyard?
You can. I would watch you all day.
All right. Thank you.
I
Oh, my
literally-
God. I love
I love watching
Everyone
Wendy.
says it makes it better.
It's you know what it is? There's like an innocence in it that's so funny to me that just, she's so great. Wendy Liebman was here, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you,
And-
Russell Peters.
And happy birthday, Herbert Avor.
oh,
Thank
my
you so
God.
much.
And I
Happy
want to thank
birthday.
Clay Roberts for sometimes using a microphone, but just being here in general. I like when Clay's here. And Paulie, thanks for your phone for fucking up every episode so far.
Try to do it on purpose now.
Eddie, you're fired. And this was this episode of Culturally Cancelled with myself and my dear friend Wendy Liebman. And Courtney sat in this time, which is nice. Thanks for listening, guys. Peace.